Yo. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Bro. I'm sorry, I got a call. Hey, see Dougie, hey, I'm live right now, baby. Dougie, I'm live right now, baby. Oh my gosh, yo. Yo. This wasn't even something I was going to talk about. I was on a whole different wavelength. I was on the wavelength of Scott Fitterer, some position, Oh my gosh, yo. Breaking news, man. Carolina Panthers have fired head coach Frank Reich. Did not see this coming at all. Didn't see this coming at all, y'all. Wow. I don't even got my background on here the way I was still working on that stuff, man. I had to come live as soon as I found that out, man. God, dog. This goes to show, and I'm glad this happened. This goes to show how dumb David Tepper is. How stupid David Tepper is. You don't know nothing about football. You had the perfect head coach right there in your face. And what did you do? You let him walk. Just like you let every other player after you came in and took over this team walk. So as much blame as we try to place on Frank Reich and I'm pretty sure Frank Reich about to tell it all. Frank Reich is about to tell it all. Watch what I say. Frank Reich about to go in. Yo, what's up, y'all? Marco Scans, what's up? Raw Walk. What? Frank gone, man. Frank gone. Hey, Illmatic, what's up, yo? God, dog. Hey, man. Yo, son. This is wild. Just think about this. We've had a revolving door of head coaches up under David Tepper. They've come in, they've gone, hey, man, hey, listen, I'm dropping a link right now. We got to talk about this. Everybody, hey, you want to pull up and talk, hit the link. God dang. Yo, this is wild, kid. This is wild. This is out of control. This is barbaric behavior. This is barbaric behavior, man. Oh, my gosh. Hello. Yep. See, Dougie, what's up? Poppy, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. What's going on, Poppy?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, what y'all think, man?
Hey, I was just about to call you because I want us to do a round table like we did when we did the Thanksgiving special. That's my bad if I interrupted the show.
Oh, no, you good. You good.
Hey,
you good.
this is all I got to say. I've been calling for this for the longest, but you said a point about David Tepper having revolving door of coaches.
Right.
The only thing that I will say about this, and I think I made this point whenever you joined us last week on What's Up, Doug. Frank Reich was not our first choice.
He wasn't.
If everybody understands that, what I mean is Ben Johnson was supposed to get the coaching job. Ben Johnson pulled his name out of the hat and said, hey, I want to stay in Detroit. Mm-hmm. That does not give David Tepper a pass, but it definitely shows why I think we should have stayed with Steve Wilkes. And I'm going to be the first to say that I was wrong for criticizing, saying Steve Wilkes needs to get the boot, and et cetera, et cetera. If Ben Johnson was your first choice, why, I don't know what tier Frank Wright was or what tier he was on the coaching, the coaches that we wanted, but I know for sure we wanted Ben Johnson. The only problem that I have now is, like you said, we've had a revolving door of coaches. Now the problem that we're probably gonna deal with is, does a coach want to be underneath Frank Wright? I mean, excuse me,
No,
David Temper's
no,
ownership.
no
That's the
one
problem
does.
that we have we're gonna run into now. Because only thing that can save him, if he comes out and says, I'm getting an outside source that's going to help me get a coach, and the coach is going to be able to have their own GM. That's the only thing that can save him right now, because if he does this by himself again, we're going to be going through the same as that thing.
All right, real quick. So Chris Tabor is going to take over as interim head coach. All
The
right.
special teams.
Yep. Okay. So it says this is a statement from David Tepper. I met with Coach Wright this morning and informed him that he would no longer continue as head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I want to thank Frank for his dedication and service and wish him well. Effective immediately. Special teams coordinator Chris Tabor will serve as the interim head coach. Senior assistant Jim Caldwell will be a special advisor to offensive coordinator Thomas Brown, who will take over play calling duties. Wow. He went right back to Thomas Brown for play calling.
But you want to know something though, Demetrius? Well, I'm gonna call you PPP. Like I said, I call you Demetrius behind the scenes. So you want to know
That's
something,
cool.
PPP?
What up?
The problem that I have with this, again, Thomas Brown, and I made this point, Thomas Brown was handcuffed with this playbook.
Right.
So everybody wants to keep saying, oh, when Thomas Brown called plays, that was not his philosophy. Only thing that he added into the mix was more pre-snap motion.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was nothing different underneath Frank Wright. Frank Wright just had standard formations, and we didn't have any preset motions like we did underneath Thomas Brown. So now where I look at it is, I'm surprised we didn't choose Evero, because that means Evero definitely is gone for sure now, and he's probably going to get a head coaching job with the performance his defense has done underneath all the injuries underneath Evero. Then
Yeah.
number two, you have Caldwell and you had Don Capers. But a name that I'm surprised that we did not even choose, who
Yeah.
actually had some interviews, was Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley has been very quiet
He has been.
since the season has started.
Yeah.
And I understand Tepper has been there the longest underneath David Tepper and the Carolina Panthers. But again, I am advocating for Ben Johnson. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think anybody on this staff currently right now will be the head coach of Carolina Panthers. I may be wrong, but again, I think it was Ben Johnson's job whenever he first was available.
Right. Right. And you know what? It makes sense that it makes sense that Ben Johnson pulled out. He probably saw what was going to happen. He probably knew. David Tepper probably alluded to him since they got in the number one pick. Well, they didn't have the number one pick at that time.
No, we still had a ninth. We still had
the ninth pick.
Yes, sir.
So it could have been some character flaws that he may have seen, because why would you give up a head coaching job here?
But hold on,
What's
Demetrius.
up?
Don't do that though. It wasn't just us. He took his name out of the whole hat. Because he had other interviews. It wasn't just Carolina. So
Right.
don't make it just, I mean, I understand how our fan base feels about David Tepper, but it just wasn't Carolina. He took his hat out of his hand out of the hat out of all coaching jobs. It wasn't Carolina. But I'm surprised after he came for a day, he flew back out. That I am surprised about.
Hey, come on. It goes back to character flaw. David Tepper is not a good person to work up under, and we see that. How many head coaches have been fired from the FC and they made it to the playoffs last year? The head coach got fired who made it to the playoffs last year for FC. Like, this dude is trash to work up under.
But you want to know something? I see my guy Quan in the chat, and I know he's out. This is a question because he made this point. We are really hurting the growth of Bryce Young right now. And I remember when he made this, because now he's had Frank Wright start out. He went to Thomas Brown. Now he's went back to Frank Wright. Now he's going back to Thomas Brown. and now you're going to bring a new regime of coaches in. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 different coaches. 5 different coaches within his first 2 years in the league.
Yeah. Hey, Marshall, did you hear that Frank Reich got fired?
Well, you know this is going to set the franchise back even more.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Hey,
what?
let me tell
So
Poppy
this
what's
is the
up, Poppy,
second.
man. I appreciate Poppy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up,
Poppy
man?
been on it,
Hey,
man.
so think about this. We owe.
Did he go out?
Poppy, you went out. All right, while he's getting his mic together, Quan, what's up? Hey, yeah, poor Bryce, man. Bryce is I feel bad for him, and I had a slew of tape and stuff that I had to make sure because the All 22 haven't came out yet. So I was getting ready to show you guys some of the play calling that I was talking about that I wanted them to start to adopt. That play action, rolling Bryce out, sending a cross over the field, because you got to manipulate the pocket in order for Bryce to get open. I had all that stuff set up, man. I mean, everything. Ain't no need to have it set up right now because I guarantee you next week against the Bucks, we're going to see a whole different the whole playbook has been thrown in the trash this morning. I'm telling you that right now.
Does it matter, though, now?
I
Does it
think
really matter?
Well, okay. So as far as ranking or whatever in the NFC period, in the NFC South or just the NFL period, no, it don't matter. There's no way we're going to make the playoffs this year at all. But what it is going to do, it's going to show that the versatility of this offense could have looked better up under someone who had a better play calling, scheme set up for Bryce, understanding the current situation of our offensive line. Our offensive line, that first drive, just think about this. First drive, play action pass, bingo. After that, we had a nice run with Chuba Hubbard. Then you come back to Miles Sanders with a run that got stuffed. Then on third down, you come with this play. You come with a play that's a motion across the field, go back, Mingo's in the way. You throw it up, you kind of pitch it over to Miles Sanders, but the offensive line, Moten, don't guard nobody. And the defender comes straight up the gut to him. If he doesn't do that, that's a first down. So I think it comes down to the play calling and whoever's the offensive line coach. Who is it? Is it Campion?
I've been calling his name. Darn. He needs to be fired.
James Campion, right?
Capon.
Horrible.
He's been horrible all year.
Horrible, bro. Horrible. Trash.
You want to know something? And I'm gonna come to the front of the church. That's one of my favorite sayings, Demetrius. I even watched the game yesterday. Huh? I ain't even watched the game.
You didn't watch the game?
You really want to know how I watched the game yesterday? I had to go support my brother Quan, and I was in your chat. I didn't watch the game at all yesterday. Like when I say I'm mentally done, I'm mentally done. I've been checked out. Y'all thought I was joking. I am mentally, like I said, if people are upset with me, I am mentally checked out, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. I could tell yesterday. You could just tell in the way that they speak that Frank Reich was checked out with everything that was going on. And like I said, I guarantee you, Frank Reich's about to air out everything. He probably won't get another head coaching job, but he knows that, and it sucks, But I mean, after getting jigged on by your old owner in the locker room and how the Dallas Cowboys filled this stadium, and you said we're going to go to a silent count, I know. Listening to Panthers Twitter and Panthers podcasters and other people around the area, man, that covers football, I guarantee they was like, man, he ain't the right coach for you guys. I guarantee you that they told him that he dropped the ball on Steve Wilkes. I guarantee you, someone who he really trusts as a confidant, someone he could lay his head down and speak freely, told him that you messed up. You messed up big time. Exhausted with this team and fan base. Yeah, man. Man, Frank Reich gone, man. Golly.
Demetrius, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, man.
All right. Now, people, you already know, other YouTuber, one of our content creators just called me, so I'm gonna get on the laptop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the MacBook, and then once I get on the MacBook, give me like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna be muted so I can see what they want, and I'm gonna come back and join you. So you hold it down, man. So give me 5 minutes.
All right, cool.
All
right. Yeah, man. Hey. I'm not even gonna lie. This shocked me, right? Seeing this right here shocked me to my core this morning because I didn't expect it to happen. Week 12, going into week 13, we fire a head coach. Carolina Panthers are horrible, man. So what now? Hey, suit up. We got a game on Sunday. That's what's next, man. Hey, ain't nothing else left to do, man. The whole playbook is going to be scratched. You know, I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed the stuff that I saw from Bryce on Sunday. I think Bryce did. It was a lot of good things to take away from this game. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like I understand the issue in Carolina. I understand the full out issue here in Carolina. The offensive line is trash. We saw Jonathan Mingo. Do y'all remember that play that got challenged, I believe, to DJ Chark? You got Jonathan Mingo slow walking to get set before they try to throw the challenge flag. Mentally, this team isn't there. Right? You have really, oh man, my phone is blowing up. ESPN is going crazy. Frank right there. Frank right there. Hey, man. Now, I will say this. Poppy was right about one thing. Poppy said he's saving his job, or he's doing this to make sure that Thomas Brown and all these other people don't get fired, right? And it's like, man, I think Poppy was actually right. I think Frank Reich knew he was going to get fired. All those conversations that he was having with David Tepper and how things were flowing, I think he just knew. So maybe Frank Reich did do this as a way to shield off Thomas Brown and shield off other players, other coaches, man. That could be a possibility. But God, dog, man. Week 12, a coaching shakeup. We done had, let's count it. Ron Rivera, you bring in Perry Fuel. Go back to see Dougie. Hold on. All right, boss. So you have Ron Rivera, you bring in Perry Fuel. You hire Matt Rule, you fire him, bring in Steve Wilkes. You hire Frank Reich, now you got Chris Tabor. 6 head coaches. I'm including the interims too. 6 head coaches in 6 years. Hey, see, Dougie, I don't got no audio for you, baby. See, Dougie, can't hear you, baby. He talking. Can y'all hear me? You ain't got no audio. Okay. Yeah, man. While he gets that together, man. But what you say, A. Marshall? Had to watch the Eagles and Hey, that was a good game, wasn't it, man? That was a doggone good game, man. Let me make sure I got audio.
No, my bad about that, Demetrius.
Okay. You good.
Hey, so what I was doing was let me put my on mute. So what I was doing was 2 fans in the stands is about to come over here with you. I already had people seeing if I was going live, so I'm about to bring all the coverage I was going to do over to your channel.
Cool.
So
appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Hey guys, and real quick, if you guys haven't, please go and subscribe to C. Dougie's channel, man. What's up, Doug? He's almost at 1,000, man. You know, I was on his podcast the other day, man. And he was gracious enough to allow me to drop a little, a little link to my page, man, and said some good things, man. And we got to 1,000 that night. So, guys, if you haven't, please go to What's Up, Doug, and subscribe to his channel, man. Great content. He does a lot of stuff with the Cowboys too, as well. And it's good, and it's good to get perspective. He helped out a lot last week against the Cowboys to kind of see, how they was going to attack us, what they was going to do, in that phase of football. So go to the page. What's up, Doug? Get them to 1,000. Let them get monetized because we do this for the love of it, guys. But it would be real nice to get $1.
I already knew I got Aunt was gonna go live.
Sorry. Yeah. I knew Unc was gonna go live, man. Yeah. I know Unc fired up right now, man.
Well, see, this is the thing, though. Like we said, the problem that I have is now I think David Tepper knows he's definitely messed up. Let me turn.
Yes.
He's definitely messed up. But again, I fault him, but I do not fault him. He wanted Ben Johnson.
He did.
But again, we shouldn't have not waited this long in the season for you to fire Frank Reich.
Yeah.
But now I want to know, how long is it going to take for Scott Fitterer to be fired now?
Man, hey, he might be next. I'm not going to lie to you. He might be next. This might just be the first start of firings, because make no mistake about it, the decisions that he's made so far hasn't been really, really good, in my opinion, especially that move up to get DJ Johnson. Like, that stuff right there made no sense at all to me.
But hold on now. Now we can blame Scott for that. But we also got to blame Fitterer for that as well, because we can blame Scott Fitterer for that, but we can blame Evero for that, because Evero was in the room and said, "Hey, go get this young man. He's a project, and I know I can tool him around where he can be a dynamic DN." He's not even really touched the field or done anything except for that Miami game.
Well, you know, and I get you on that. Trust me, I do. But the buck stops with the GM and the owner. like you got to make the decision to say, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. You know, and here's the thing: success will cover up a whole lot of BS. And because Evero is successful right now with the defense, all that stuff is being covered up. If we do go past David Tepper and Scott Fitterer for that DJ Johnson decision, try to go to Evero, well, we can't pin it on him like that, because he's winning with less than what he started off with.
Facts.
You know? What's going on, Poppy? What's going on, Heat? Chris, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, man? Hey, what did I say last week, man? What we need to do? we got to start the coach's search early, man. Ain't no waiting to the end of the season.
But see, that's the question. I asked Demetrius this last week. With it happening now, and we actually said that last week. I mean, that's crazy. He just said that. When we did our Thanksgiving special, I already asked the question with the panel in the chat. If he's fired, will it be before the season or after the season? And who are some coaching candidates that you're looking at already to get ahead of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not gonna lie. I think I said Brian Daboll.
You did?
I said Brian Daboll and I said Evero. I like those two. You know, as taking over. I like Daboll because I don't think Daboll's gonna pull up with David Tepper's BS. You know, I think he's gonna set them straight. We ain't gonna have no every Monday meetings with Daddy.
You can't do that unless you got Super Bowl
names.
You can't do that unless you got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Tepper ain't gonna listen to nobody. He ain't gonna let nobody put him in check if they ain't got rings to show. You know who needs to come here?
Who, Poppy?
Hey, look, we either need to get Belichick as a GM. We need we need somebody that combat Tepper, because until Tepper can be combated, nothing's gonna change.
But Poppy, look at this. Bill Belichick is outdated. Look at all the new offensive minds that are out there. You got Ben Johnson. You have the Houston Texans offensive coordinator. Those are my two targets. We don't need any defensive coordinator as a head coach. Look at what Evero has been able to do with this defense depleted. Look what Steve Wilkes was able to do with this defense was depleted, and he wasn't a head coach. We do not need a defensive coordinator or a defensive-minded head coach. Bill Belichick is a defensive-minded head coach. He is not offensive at all. So why would you go and look at a coach that is not doing well in New England, who's outdated, has not done anything since Tom Brady has not been a quarterback?
Well, that's the same equivalent of, saying, hey, let's get this offensive coordinator. He never ran a full team.
God dang.
I'm just saying, historically, we've had success with defensive coaches.
We have.
That's a fact.
Historically, yeah.
That's a fact. So are you saying we should go back to the defensive side, or you're with the offensive coordinators or offensive gurus being your head coach?
Hey, doesn't Bill Belichick let his offensive coordinator call the plays?
No, he did not do it last year.
Who was his offensive coordinator?
He had two. And he was also in offensive meetings last year.
And his offensive coordinator sucked, right? That's why he was in there.
So you really think getting Bill Belichick?
Who else can we get in here?
Are you doing the name? Are you doing the name, or are you doing the history that he has?
Okay, I'll explain it like this: is that Tepper got his hand in there in everything allegedly. His hand is everywhere. Who's a coach that's going to be able to tell Tepper, hey, you need to back up and let me run this? If they don't have the rings
now, I really think he's going to do it himself. He's not. He knows he's messed up since he's been underneath or taking over the Panthers. I think he knows that.
I would accept that if he had fired the general manager too. He didn't fire the general manager. He kept him. The general manager set all this up. The talent that Frank got, the general manager set up. We fired the head coach, but the GM
Scott
is still
Fitter
there.
won't be here long, Poppy. I promise you, Scott Fitter will not be here long.
Hey, real quick, D from Sanford, what's up, man? Welcome to the panel, bro.
Hey, man, I'm glad y'all had me. Got this news this morning. Kind of threw me for a loop. Not because I didn't think Reich was gone. I knew Reich was gone. To be quite honest, after the Cowboys game, when the rails really fell off, I thought that was it. I was kind of surprised. Maybe they wanted to get through the holidays or see if they could beat the Titans.
Yeah, I think that's what it was too. Yeah.
But my whole thing that comes with it, okay, it's cool that you went on and was proactive about Reich instead of giving it to the year. But if you're not putting Fitterer to task and taking Fitterer out the door, and it's a Carolina Panther move to me, a David Tepper type of move, that Fitterer still be the GM next year, regardless. And then Fitterer hires another coach who is not built to fix a ship or turn a ship around where the fan base can have gradual progress and find some hope to lean to. So my concerns is if Fitterer is not gone at least by the end of the season, this means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing. Tabor, I think Tabor was taken because he has been an interim before and just try to keep the boat afloat just till the end. But I really think that Evero turned this job down because I don't care if Tepper is a fund manager or a mutual head dude, ain't a football guy like that. Everybody knows that the defense is the only thing that hasn't been absolute trash. They haven't been the greatest, but at least he's kept some consistency with injuries or whatever. And I feel he would have had a Wilkes approach where at least these guys would have been fired up, playing for their pride, dignity, and the Panther on the helmet. So
real quick, D, you think if we don't fire Scott Fitterer, this firing right here means absolutely nothing?
It means absolutely nothing because Fitterer has not been in charge of who's gotten hired yet. Fitterer is a glorified yes man to David Tepper. That's why he keeps the job. So unless you get a GM that's going to have the balls to be like, Tep, the reason why this is trash is because of point. And I need you to sit back and let me do my thing. Let me work. Let me eat. And if you bring that kind of GM and Tepper can just be humble enough to let the GM do what a GM do, just like where Wright could have stayed humble enough to be like, I hired the OC, let the OC do his job, Wright might still have a job. Okay? Fitterer wouldn't be on the hot seat if Fitterer wasn't a yes man. But let's be quite honest. This is two jobs that Reich has got fired before the year is over.
That's a fact.
There is something to that. It shows that, okay, he's a great guy. He's a good grandpa figure. Oh, he can coddle you. He can baby you. And I think that's why he was hired.
But answer this question, because didn't they say he was a leader of men? What leadership have we seen?
They said Matt Rule was a leader of men when he came in. When he came into that press conference as a Southern Baptist preacher, and he was trying to rally all of Charlotte. They was talking about Matt Rule. One thing about him, he's a leader of men. Look at how he turned around Temple. Look at how he turned around Baylor. I don't care what people say about no coach no more unless the results are there. If the results aren't there, I don't care. I'm already hearing Lincoln Riley. What has Lincoln Riley showed us? Nothing.
Lincoln Riley for what?
Talking about head coach. I was just thumbing through some junk and people talking about take a link on Lincoln Riley. At the end of the day, go get me an offensive coordinator who knows how to deal with this young age of football. First of all, Frank Reich has not evolved. He is still thinking that we're running offenses back when he was the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. And like I said, he's a babysitter. He is they don't want to crush Bryce's mental capacity. Bryce is the golden baby. He's that special child. Frank isn't going to jump in Bryce's mess. He's going to coddle him. He's going to hold him, burp him when he needs to be burped. It's okay that you didn't get that pass or you don't have the arm talent or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to set an offense where we can hide your flaws. But what they didn't take into consideration, we're not smart enough to make the plays and draw the plays for Bryce Young to be successful.
So let me ask you this question. Did you watch the game yesterday?
Yes, I did. I watched them all.
Okay. That first drive that Bryce put together, right? You remember, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what you think about it. Give it a grade. A, B, C, D, E, F. Or F, not E.
Okay. I'm going D.
Why?
I'm going D. Because first of all,
with context, why are you going D?
Because a broke clock is right twice a day. Okay. And the one thing that we keep saying about Bryce, we see flashes. We see that, if we get this and that, he can do this. My question to you is, in this whole season, where has there been any consistency from Bryce?
Okay. Let me ask you this question, D. Let me ask you this question real quick.
Okay.
The play caller. I'm gonna go play by play with it real quick.
Okay.
The first drive, we have a play action pass. Fake to Miles Sanders, roll out to the right, throw for like 15, 16 yards to Jonathan Mingo, first down, right?
Right.
Then we come back, we have motion across the field, and then we give the ball to Chuba Hubbard. I think that's like 2nd and 8 now. Yeah. Then we go to a Miles Sanders run, no motion to the right. Then we come back with another run to Miles Sanders, which we had motion across the field with Jonathan Mingo. He went from right, then back to left, got in the way of Bryce. He pitched it to Bryce. Offensive lineman did not block. Right. Now, I'm gonna ask you one more. I'm gonna ask you this again. Just hearing that play right there, those right there, where did Bryce mess up at in that first drive?
I don't think it's necessarily what he did at that moment. It's what Bryce has done all year that they don't have the confidence to even, like, we had to play with the 16-yarder, right? We went back trying to protect him with Chuba. We went back trying to protect them with Miles. I do understand that we don't have an O-line.
So you want them to throw the ball down the field with no O-line?
Well, this is my thing. And this has been my whole problem with the play call for Bryce anyway when it comes to the passing plays. Just like you just stated a moment ago, that first play, rolled out 16-yard pass, right?
Right.
You have a miniature quarterback, and that's not knocking him for being miniature. It's just the fact of what it is. He is a smaller quarterback. Any quarterback, I don't even care if it was Russell Wilson in them early years, Drew Brees in them early years, their most success was rolling out the pocket early on, being able to see, and then at least having that option to take off. One of the things that I am liking about Bryce is that Bryce has gotten to the point that he will get out of that pocket and evade and try to stretch it out. Now, this is not on him. I noticed on that play where he broke for 11 yards when it was like 4th and 11.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah.
The problem that I had with that, as much as he had to dance before he could take off, where was one receiver like, hey, you know what? Let me run back and try to help this dude.
That's why
they left that man out there to die.
That's why I'm saying.
Look at a lot of them plays they do.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. When I really sat back and started looking at how this offense has been not helping Bryce, how this offensive line has been not helping Bryce, how the wide receivers have not been helping Bryce out. Now, I'm not taking the blame solely off of Bryce because there's been some plays that Bryce has made that has put us in bad positions. But make no mistake about it. Yesterday, I saw, and I'm going to be honest with you, I saw literally a minute, maybe small fraction of blame to be placed on Bryce yesterday. Bryce threw a perfect game yesterday, man. With what was being called. You don't think so?
I think he had a decent game.
He had the best game that he's played this whole season, in my opinion.
That's like being the smart kid in the slow class. I mean, logically, this dude is the number 1 pick in the draft. Now, mind you, I have nothing against Bryce. I know Bryce has a lot against him, especially with this organization. We traded up. We took a number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we're sitting here after we traded up and got a number 1 pick saying, hey, man, this was the best game he's played all year, and he's done nothing all year.
Oh, man.
Now, fundamentally,
I don't know if I can say that, man.
I never gave up on Bryce. I'm actually a Bryce supporter because he's my quarterback. But I'm going to call a spade a spade. I do expect just a tiny bit more. We can't move the ball, man.
You wrong for that.
I didn't create it. I didn't create it.
Oh, my God. Whoa.
You wrong for that, man. Hey, but he stood up tall yesterday, man. I mean, he had 2 big 300-pound linemen. I mean, defensive linemen trying to bring him down. I seen more out of Bryce yesterday than I've seen in this. And trust me, I said that this was a winnable game. I said that on defense, the defense need to get after Bryce. I mean, get after Will Levis more and often. That's what they did. Yeah. That's exactly what they did. We saw 5-6 man pressures that we haven't seen this whole year consistently yesterday in that game. So I think when it comes down to adapting to what the strengths of the or the weaknesses of the other team shows, Evero does a better job at that than we've seen Frank Reich do. We didn't see Frank Reich attack like what game was that? The Chicago Bears game. Yeah. All right. We're letting Badgett run all over the field. All right.
Yeah.
That's on defense. But on while we're playing offense, we're not attacking the middle of the field. We're not doing any of those things. Their middle linebackers, they sat in the cover 2 the majority of the time, man, because they know we was going to throw low, throw short. And they have horrible linebackers. Why not attack the middle of the field in that game? We stayed towards the perimeter, and he showed us the chart for that yesterday or whatever day that was.
Hey, let me ask you, Demetri, let me ask y'all this question. I think for me, I think it's a yes. Are we more emotionally invested in this team now with Frank Reich being fired than we were prior to him being the coach?
Bro, I've been emotionally invested since 2003.
Well, no. I'm gonna say, because I'm one of them sports fans. I'm one of the sports fans that logic can go out the window when I love you or whatever. I don't think I'm more invested now than I was before, but I am interested in how things are going to be playing out for the rest of the year and into the off season. Yes, I am intrigued on that end, but as far as my investment, it doesn't sway at all.
Okay.
It doesn't sway. We've had enough losing seasons that I'm not even upset no more. And we've had winning seasons that I can be proud of. But really, there's not too much that can shake my core of interest with this team unless we actually become a Super Bowl contender.
Real quick, Tony. Hey, man, I apologize. So this is my first time having this many people on my panel, and I saw this little tab down here. I was like, well, why is it more down there? Then I saw you down there for. I'm sorry.
Nah, you all good, my guy.
I apologize.
It's all good.
What's going on?
It's all good, bro. What's good, Doug? What's up?
What's going on, man? What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts? Talk to us, man.
My thoughts on what Frank Reich being fired?
Yes, sir.
I thought it was inevitable. I thought reading the reports after the game yesterday, it was being highly publicized how David Tepper felt about the firing. You know, shaking his head, walking outside the locker room, big, explicitive or whatever. I was hoping, not just hear me out on this. I was hoping that it was something that wasn't going to be done to the end of the year. Why do I say that? Because the only benefit that you have of firing a head coach right now is to get an early jump on who can possibly be your head coach when the season ends. So right when the last game is over, you pretty much already have in mind who you want to hire as your next head coach. Mm-hmm. Anything offensively and defensively is not going to change. The playbook is the playbook.
Mhm.
So everything that we're seeing schematic, scheme wise, offensively and defensively, is not going to change.
Right.
Me and Doug had this. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead
No,
and
go
tell it.
ahead.
Go ahead and
No,
tell it.
it's your floor, baby. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I thought he was going to say anything.
No, go ahead and tell
But
it.
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tony.
Oh, I was saying schematically, I don't think anything is going to change. We have been hit hard as far as injuries on both sides of the ball. You talking about playing pretty much the whole year without your number one corner. Everybody's going to kind of differ on what they feel about Dante Jackson. I'm not a big fan of Dante Jackson. You know, that's just my opinion. There's some things defensively that I felt like we dropped the ball on. I understand Nivero wants to go a little lighter on the defensive line, but at the same time, what used to be one of our strengths going to the regular season immediately became one of our weaknesses when we got rid of Marquand McCall, when we got rid of Bravion Roy, when we got rid of John Pennicini. To no fault of his, he couldn't get healthy, couldn't get on the playing field throughout training camp in the preseason. But when you run that 3-4 defense, man, the biggest hole or gap or the biggest strength, let me say that the biggest strength that should be in your 3-4 defense is in the middle of that defense. That's your nose tackle and your middle linebackers. When you look at our defense right now, we have no dominant nose tackle and we have no dominant middle linebacker, someone that can come down, come downhill and hit somebody in the mouth. You know what I mean? We don't have those type of linebackers. Offensively, and this is just based on this is why I give Scott Fitterer a little grace
Mm-mm.
because you
Did what?
couldn't. No, but hear me out. Hear me out. You couldn't, and nobody on this panel, no Panther fan, could say they knew or expected the offensive line to play like they play right now based off how they played last year.
Yeah,
So
that's a
when
Can I
fact.
be
Scott
honest
Fitterer,
enough to say that I was 50-50?
yeah, and that's how you feel that, yeah.
I was 50-50 just because the schemes were changing. That was the only reason. You bringing in two different schemes. Some O lines are better with different schemes than other schemes. So that was the only
Facts,
reason why I was 50-50. But continue. I really mean to
facts.
cut you off.
No, but you bring forth a valid point, and in the grand scheme of things, with hindsight, now that we have time to look back on it and see how it has played out,
Yeah.
those linemen that we had last year does not fit the scheme that they want to run this year. Frank
Oh,
Wright
not at
even
all.
said a couple of weeks ago that he's not looking to be a power run team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not looking to be a smash mouth, north south, one cut, get downhill, run the ball. You're not going to see no run the ball 30, 35, 40 times a game. That's
That's
just
true.
not who they are,
Hey,
how they built.
I bet
But
you
my
will
thing when I
now.
say, yeah, but when I say
Yeah,
go
of
back to
course.
Scott Fitterer, I'm just talking about when we finished the year last year from an offensive line standpoint, we finished in the top 10 in the league as far as offensive line. So, and I guess I understand what his mindset was. All we have to do is drop in a capable quarterback
Right.
behind this offensive line,
Right.
and we would get better production out of this offense as a whole than we did this past year. But
Right.
the thing on that, now here's where I don't agree with Scott Fitterer or Frank Wright. Most of the times when you draft a number one overall quarterback, whether it be um, J- um, Lawrence, your boy out of Jacksonville, when we
Uh-huh.
drafted, I'm
Trevor,
sorry, when who?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, or whoever your number one overall pick or top three, top four, top five pick, most teams or most head coaches scheme around that quarterback strength. So what was Bryce's strength coming out of Alabama? Shotgun, pistol formation, semi rollouts to the left or to the right, get him out of the pocket, move a little bit, and let him get the ball down the field. But he had speed demons that he could get the ball to.
He
He
had
had
an
speed
offensive
demons
line.
that, yeah, and he had an offensive line, right? When I say that, when I look at Frank Wright in this system wasn't. This was Frank Wright trying to fit Bryce Young into his system instead of building a system that fits around Bryce Young.
Frank Wright told David Tepper what he wanted to hear.
In the interview.
This is, and I agree with you on that, because again, Frank Wright was not David Tepper's first choice. But this is a question that I want to ask all you gentlemen now going forward. And I'm on Twitter right now. I'm doing multiple. I'm here with Demetrius, and I'm listening to Sheena and Carolina Blitz. The question that I have that they just asked, now that you have a new coach coming in again, you don't have a first round pick. You don't have a lot of draft capital right now. The question, this didn't come from me, so I'm going to give the people credit on Twitter. Is Brian Burns for sure traded now during the offseason? So you
God damn.
No, we're going to lose him for nothing. We're going to lose him for absolutely nothing.
You can't trade him in the offseason. He's a free agent at the end. He's a free agent.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Only way you could trade him. Only way you could trade him in the offseason is you have to franchise tag.
That's where I was getting at, getting the franchise tag and then trade. That's what I was saying, Tony. But for us to get draft capital for this new coach, because the coach that I want is Ben Johnson. And if you look at what you see what the Detroit Lions have, look at all the wide receivers that they have. They have Amon St. Brown, they have Williams, they have Reynolds, they have Gibbs, which is basically your scat back, because in the running back / slot, and then you do have Montgomery.
Yeah,
they all have speed. And what speed do we have on this team right now? None.
You know what? I'm in Ross St. Brown is not a speed demon. If you go back and look at what his 40,
but that's just one receiver though, Tony. I'm just saying, look at compare our receivers to what Detroit has with Ben Johnson.
The only one that I see that we
what I was gonna say is he's not a speed demon, but he's a hellified route runner.
Okay. Yeah. So where I'm getting at is with that, where do you most of the time want to get your wide receivers? Through the draft, right?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Look, and I'll give this point. I did this research yesterday. When CJ Stroud got drafted, they flew CJ Stroud. Obviously, we know they fly out your number one draft pick the next day. CJ Stroud was in the draft room with them the following day. And who did they draft right after CJ Stroud?
Tank Dell.
Yeah.
And Tank Dell was drafted by the Houston Texans because they're now franchise quarterback. And CJ Stroud said, they asked him, what wide receiver do you want us to draft right now? And he said, Tank Dell. Reason why
philosophy.
Reason why I'm bringing that up is we need to draft the right wide receivers to go along with Bryce, but we don't have that capital to do that. So that's why I brought the question up. Now that we know we're going to get a new head coach, does that basically guarantee that we will not see Spider-Man in Charlotte anymore? Or
I think that we won't
trade somebody else. Could that be another possible player that we trade? Because you got to Jeremy Chin was hold on real quick, and then I'll be quiet, my guy. Jeremy Chin was on the chopping block. Derrick Brown is up for a contract. Dante Jackson can't stay healthy, and you still had J.C. Horn.
Okay, as far as Burns, more than likely, unless they just get a deal done and keep him, Burns won't be there. Because if you franchise tag Burns for that overinflated price that you have to franchise tag somebody, that's not as attractive a deal to a team that has draft compensation. Because now they're paying out more money, even if it's for that year. So when it comes to the grace of it being that year, I'm kind of feeling like we're either going to come to a deal with him and we're going to have him, or he's going to leave and we're not getting anything back. The problem is I feel like the people that we could get proper draft compensation for is going to hurt us worse than we already are. Like a Lou Boo. Guys, even Derrick Brown to a degree, because everybody's raving about Derrick Brown in between the trenches, at least for the flashes that he has. I just feel like it's one of them situations. I just don't see like we can afford to build a team franchising tag and Burns for an elevated price. Because still that makes it harder for him to move for a year. At least get the best compensation.
Yeah, that part right there, because I don't think Carolina has the leverage. They would have the leverage at the end of the season that they could have before the trade deadline this year if they would have made a move with Brian Burns at that time. I think a lot of the leverage will be lost because teams are going to see that you're really in need, you're in desperation mode, you're trying to create a first round pick for whoever the next head coach is going to be.
Right.
And not only that, his production this year thus far doesn't merit what he initially could have gotten from Carolina before the trade deadline, or if Carolina could have traded him and what they could have gotten in return for him. Because I don't see another 12.5, 13 sack season by the end of this season. So what they're going to do, they're going to try whoever you try to trade Brian Burns to, and this is just the cost of doing business. They're going to ding you or want to ding you based on the production he's having right now. Yeah. And if his production is not that good this year, his price is not going to be as high as what you think it should be.
Right. And that's the reason why I think Scott Fitterer should be fired, because we had opportunity to trade Burns for 2 first-round picks
twice.
He let that walk. He let that.
I understood the first.
That's what Heat said. That's what Heat said on the last live, man. When you had the opportunity to do it, you should have did it at that point. And I think
now 2 years ago, man. 2 years ago, even though we didn't know what Burns, like if Burns was really going to be that guy or not, it's kind of hard to turn down 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders, man.
Because when you really look at it, he's really. I love Brian Burns. Like I said, I got Brian Burns on my wall in my little podcast corner. So I'm not going to be disrespectful to him. But the problem that I have is he needs a Robin to, well, I'll say a Venom because he's Spider-Man.
And they had him.
But when he's had that Venom type or that person on the opposite end, what has he done? Look what he was able to do with Hassan Reddick having more sacks than him.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to say.
He was more dominant because Hassan Reddick was getting a double team and he was 1-on-1. But then you also had Derrick Brown in the middle as well. So the point that I'm making is whenever he's just the man, he can't do it by himself. He needs that side on the other end. What you got?
Here's my pushback on that. How many sacks did Brian Burns have when Hassan Reddick was here?
9.
Yeah, he had 9.
9.5.
Yeah, he had 9.5.
He's sitting at 5 right now.
You talking about last year?
No. When he had Hassan Reddick,
he had 9.5.
Hassan Reddick was here. Okay, so last year,
that's what I'm saying.
2022.
Yeah.
No, last year, how many did Brian Burns have?
He had 12. He had 12.5, right?
12.5.
Yeah,
12.5.
That's not bad.
Who was on the opposite side of Brian Burns?
Nobody was. A no-namer.
No, not last.
No. You talking about this?
So my point in saying all that is, I get what you're saying. What kind of talent and what it looked like when he had Hassan Reddick on the other side. But what I'm saying is his production went up. It went up last year, not just in sacks, but tackles for loss and QB pressures last year. And he had nobody on the opposite side last year. So it ain't just because he didn't have a Venom to his Spider-Man or a Robin to his Batman. I think the whole thing with Brian Burns this year, I think the whole contract situation has affected him.
But I'm not bashing him though, Tony. I'm just saying I don't want to lose him, but a coach is going to need draft picks.
Right.
What you got here, Heat?
Let me bring up the numbers for you. So based on this for 2024, we've got $39 million in cap space.
And that's top 5.
Okay.
That's top 5 in next year.
And they're projecting Burns somewhere in the area of $23 million. And we got Derrick Brown too, commanding at least 11. You put them two together, we got $5 million in cap space. We signed 2 players. That's not including who we draft, who we get in free agency. One of these guys is not getting re-signed.
So y'all,
But
so
that-
you
but
guys,
hold on.
you guys is cool with letting
But
go
that
Derrick
don't-
Brown and Brian Burns.
Yeah.
But hold on.
We signed
Hey,
both
Heath,
of these guys. Yeah, go ahead, man.
you have to be honest about the Carolina about the cap space and how it works. When you sign, if you sign Brian Burns at $23.4 million per year, how much of it is prorated over a 4 or 5 year period? How much is included into a signing bonus? All that affects what his actual cap space would be. The market value is different from his cap space.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know,
going
his
to be a
cap hit.
$23 million hit year one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We signed him
Yeah.
to
But
a
now
4
year
or
2,
5 year
3, and
deal.
4.
But
Yeah. Well, okay.
Now I have a question.
So-
Do you have the rollover money? I see 2023 rollover, the $5 million.
Yeah.
That's actually included in the cap space going into next year, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if we restructure his deal to where he's going to want at least 10 next year. So I mean, you're cutting it down to 29 with one player. Derrick Brown, I mean, if he's only going to command 11, I mean that's nothing. But we've got, if we let Shark go,
We're
there's
gonna
no
let
receiver
Shark go,
going.
but there's a name on there too, Heat, that I see underneath contract. It's two
Yeah.
names I know. Miles Sanders probably will not be back, and I know for sure Hayden Hurst probably won't be back as well because
But
of
CJ
the
Henderson won't be back.
and CJ Henderson won't be back. With the trend of Tommy Tremble, what he's been able to do with the opportunity, I understand why we picked up Hayden Hurst, but at the same time, Tommy Tremble is outperforming him. I already know with Miles, we're gonna have to eat a lot of dead money, but I'd rather do the dead money or trade him away. Because again, Chuba can definitely be a number one. You need a more of a power back to be that D. Will and Jonathan Stewart running back tandem that we've had in Carolina. And I think we do need a power back, which could have been Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. So, like I said, I definitely think with that number, I know right now currently we are top 5, but I know that number can go top 3 with cuts that are definitely going to come and surprise a lot of people during the offseason.
Yeah.
All right, I got one question. So my man told the cap number, right? And we know what we got to do to get Brian Burns secured if that's still their desire, right? How do we address our offensive line issues if the salary cap is predominantly going to a degree to Brian Burns and probably Lugu?
So for me, I think number one, you gotta fire James Campen. That's number one. Number two, for a person that I've been very high on, and I'm still high on him, but I think he's playing out of position. You got to move Icky to guard.
Yeah, left guard.
Yes.
If you move Icky to guard, and I need people to hear me, I've seen this man in person.
I'm listening.
Icky is going to be a bigger, or one of the biggest guards in the league.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I think we need to get rid of that dude, but I'm listening.
But no, so
he's great for run protection. He's great for run blocking.
So Demetrius, the reason why I say that with him playing guard, he doesn't have to do that step out. You know, from playing tackle. So he has to play in a small space where you have to go lateral.
Right. I agree with you.
So if you see how big he is, lateral's not going to be the problem. Now, the problem that he's going to have is if somebody power rushes him, is he strong enough to take that? Because we see him power rush and get just the mob.
Have you seen that big country cornbread? Right? Yeah, he's strong enough.
Man, that big country cornbread dude was getting pushed down the other day, man.
Bro, if now put it like this, he ain't Bradley Bozeman. Now I watched Bradley Bozeman get rock bottomed in the middle of the line.
Now, I'll give you that, D.
I mean, Icky is a great running guy.
The offensive line as a whole is not bad. I think Brady Christensen coming back healthy is going to help. But the problem now that I have is we put a lot of faith in Austin Corbett. And I said this when we played Houston. Rush Austin Corbett back. I think he should not have started. I wanted him to start, but he should have not started because he was not – with the ACL, you take that gradually. He basically started the whole game. Now he's injured the same leg that he tore his ACL in.
Out of desperation.
So now
towards MCL.
Thank you. So now you have a right guard that you have to fix now. I think Taylor Moton maybe has 3 more years in him.
Man, he ain't got nothing in him.
He needs
let
to
him
go.
sit. He needs
Like,
to go.
you talking about a contract? You talking about the contract? You talking about a contract that you can possibly get rid of? We can do without Taylor Moton and his 16.5 million a year contract. To be honest,
but it's a 24 million cap hit. We let him go.
I think Taylor Moton was only there because default. There was no other option at the time.
He's the highest paid player on our team.
That's gonna be restructured. So right there, we have what? We had 39 mil. Was that 39 mil for cap?
39 mil.
So let's just say we were structured and we gain 5 or 6 mil in cap space. We're sitting at 45 mil, and you can get a wide receiver. You can get another offensive lineman. You can get somebody with that money. Let's look at the money we threw at Miles Sanders.
But see, that goes to the GM again. Do we have enough faith in Fitterer that he can bring the right offensive lineman in?
Fitterer will not be here.
It's not so much about bringing the right offensive lineman. You have to bring in a scheme. If you're going to keep your offensive lineman, and you're already seeing that, well, we ain't got but X amount of dollars cap space, and we got to rebuild. We need new offensive linemen. We need new wide receivers. We need backup depth in the defensive. Back seven. I mean, we need help everywhere, and we're not going to get it all in 1 or even 2 years. So what do you do? If you're going to bring in the coach, the challenge for the next head coach is being able to bring in a scheme or devise a scheme that fits the talent that you currently have, and that you can add pieces to throughout the years. Not saying that nobody's going to go, because there's some players that deserves to go, but there's just not going to be a complete overhaul of this offensive line. One, because we can't afford to do it.
I agree with you 100%. But the biggest issue that comes to any of that is whoever becomes that head coach is gonna have to take that Jimmy Johnson stance that he had with Jerry Jones back in the day for this thing to change around. As long as Tepper stays heavily involved, we're not going to be in the position. We're just not. How many times do we have to keep looking at so many bad decisions from a GM and an owner, and then inept coaches? Like, it's going to take a while. It's at least a good 3-year window, and that's if we get the right coach.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to answer 2 questions from the chat real quick. So Rawalk said, but we still got Brady. So do we move Brady to right guard? Yes or no?
Left tackle.
Did we actually really give him a true shot at left tackle? Like, when I mean a
no
shot, did we really give him a true shot at left tackle?
No,
I think Christensen should get a chance at left tackle.
Thank you. There's the answer for me right there.
Okay. And I agree with you. And I hated that dumb notion that Matt Rule and them guys had when they drafted Brady Christian. Here is a guy that was a 3-year starter at left tackle at BYU. The year he was drafted, he was the highest rated tackle to come out of the draft. And the only thing that you wanted to mention and say was that his arms were a little too short.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like you got someone at 6'5", 305. What tells you that he's built to be an offensive guard?
And if he started at BYU, for 3 years, mind you, BYU does not knock your socks off national championship wise. But as far as a contending team with offensive linemen that have proven themselves in the league, BYU has produced old linemen that can produce in the league. Second of all, the only knock I truly have on Brady Christensen has been the health. And if we can get that man healthy and ready, I feel like he take the left tackle, Iquanu take the left guard. If we stuck at Bozeman at center, fine. And then we got to figure out what to do with Moton at right tackle. So
we got to go through the draft.
It's going to be a puzzle for a little bit.
We got to go through the draft.
Say, look what he was able to do with Zach Wilson. Whenever Zach Wilson was a quarterback at BYU, I know when he got drafted by the Jets, he came out and said a lot of his success at BYU was based off his offensive lineman. He shot it out Brady Christensen that year during the draft because they both came out that same year. So
Christensen was a rock star until he got to Matt Rule. And then that's when all the shade and the stuff came, was once he got part of the organization. But if you can remember back to combines leading into the draft, a lot of people thought highly of Brady Christensen. It wasn't until he got to Charlotte that narrative changed.
Dude, that's a fact.
That's true. That's true. I hate to say it, but that's true.
Hey, real quick, I want to answer this question. Now, this is from a good brother of mine, Jerome Minor, man.
Okay.
Hey, I think he
Shout out
should
Jerome.
I think he should go ahead and have a podcast because he be talking his talk
What
on
up, Jerome?
Facebook, man. But he said he want to ask you guys this question. So, what's the goal for the rest of the year for the Carolina Panthers?
Compete.
Hey, let me give you this tweet because I was gonna save it after this. So Mike K, you know, everybody knows Mike K is one of the boots on the ground with Sheena and all them in the locker room.
Right.
He just tweeted out maybe 15 minutes ago. Well, no, not even 15, 8 minutes ago. I've been told by multiple Panthers players they just found out about Frank Reich's firing through social media. A team meeting was not called, and now the team meeting was called shortly thereafter. So with you asking, how do I see the rest of the how I see the rest of this year going in a direction? It's a cluster, you know what, right?
Okay. So
you know it's a cluster, you know what, right now.
Oh man.
Okay,
So,
I got
go
two
ahead.
answers.
For me,
What I want.
Go ahead, D.
What I want is for them to compete and just put out the best product they can, win or lose, because you got nothing to play for. But I agree with my man, right? With the way they just handled that already.
We can't make this up right now.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm trying everything not to die
on
loud.
social media that their coach is fired. But then number two for me is we as an organization right now, I don't think the players can even buy into the Panthers.
We are the
like
Washington
one thing
Generals.
that I would say that we wanted this mantra of keep pounding. That drum is not beating anymore right now.
I think they sold it.
Like I don't even know how to think with the direction right now. I don't need Bryce to have a season-ending injury. I don't want any more injuries. I really think, again, David Tepper, I know he hates the media. He hates the media because he knows that they attack him. But he needs to answer, what are you going to do different, Mr. Tepper, going into this new hiring cycle that you're about to go through?
Go on vacation.
Are you going to allow your new head coach to figure out if he still wants Scott Fitterer or not? If he does not want Scott Fitterer, are you okay with that? Let the GM and let the head coach be one. There's no reason for you to be included. You can sit in there, but like I said, whenever we got Frank Reich, write those checks. You're one of the richest owners in the league. Write those checks so we can get all the coaches that we were able to. Again, this coaching staff, regardless of being underneath Frank Reich, most of these coaches were highly talented coaches that more other teams wanted. Yeah. So I cannot fault David Tepper on that for signing those checks to get all the coaches that we have on this staff. But the problem I have is when this new coach is hired, and I think D said it, let him coach. And Scott Fitterer, let him decide if he wants to keep Scott Fitterer. If he has a GM that he wants to be attached to him, let him get him. And if it takes 2 more years, let it be. But I really think if we get Ben Johnson, who I am praying to God we get, it's not going to be long. It's not going to be long, people.
Oh, Bryce will do wonders under Ben Johnson.
It won't take long.
Because look at golf.
Yeah.
They were ready to run golf out the league.
They ran him out. They ran him out of L.A. And as soon as he got with Ben Johnson, he basically had a rebirth. He had a rebirth of a career.
Yeah. And see, that takes me back to like when people asked me with Young and Stroud or whatever, how I felt about that decision. My answer was always two-parted. I said, as far as immediately right now, Stroud was the better pick. But with the right coaching, the right scheme and format, long-term Bryce could be the better pick. But that's only time can tell. You got to get the right guy. Now, like I said, the main thing is Reich is still thinking it's 90s offense, late 90s offense, and the game has evolved. The personnel is different. What you need to get open is different. How you block is different. Your run schemes, your defensive schemes, everything has evolved in this new age of the NFL. And I think the biggest indictment that I had with Frank Reich the whole year was this was one of the most undisciplined Panthers teams that I can remember. And we've had some undisciplined ones with Rule, but this one here with the late hits, the personal fouls, the holding, everything else. Well, holding us, that's just a fact of
I
life for us
agree.
at this point. But we actually took ourselves out of games. I can't remember what game it was. We had like them 2 personal fouls back to back when we could have got the offense off the field and had a chance to compete. And we did that with no problem. Like, we're good at not doing the right thing. And everybody knows football. You got your razzle dazzle, your quarterbacks and everything. But discipline on your line and discipline on your defense is what carries you over. And we don't have none of that. And that was my indictment for Frank Reich. Because I'm like, you're an offensive guy, and I believe we're getting more false starts than we did under Rule. That Seahawks game, we had them 3 or 4 false starts back to back to back.
Yeah.
And you can yell the 12th man, but no, there's millions of dollars in that offensive line, regardless if they're good or not. And I think the biggest indictment to it is our offensive linemen ain't just getting beat. They're like getting thrown. Like they're getting drop kick, clothesline, just flipped all over the place. Poor Bryce. I wish we had a camera, like a helmet cam for Bryce. So when he snaps that ball and drop back, we can see how quick these jokers are in his face. I mean, literally, I want to see it. I want to see it in 3D. I think it would be scary as all heck. I got more respect for Bryce going through these 30-some sacks that he done had to go through this year than I had if he would have threw. Well, you know what? I'm lying because I wanted him to be great. But everybody's knock was that this dude didn't. He wasn't tough enough. He didn't have the mental aptitude. He had the mental aptitude, but they didn't think he could hold up. The kid has shown that he can hold up. But what mental mind fuck do you think Bryce Young is going through right now when Grandpa Frank just got fired and he's partly responsible for Grandpa Frank getting fired? He ain't got nobody to sit there and hand him that blow pop when they go 3 and out no more.
Hey, real quick, 704 Chad said it's a better day in Charlotte. He said helmet cam is funny.
Real quick, I mean, for real, man. Like, you remember that clip earlier in the year when Geno Smith yelled, "Oh my God," when Aaron Donald ran at him or whatever?
Yeah.
I feel like he says
that wasn't the truth.
I can imagine some of the things he's saying. Like, I feel sorry for the kid. I do.
So can I pose a question to the group?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
How do you guys feel about Chris Tabor being named interim head coach? I want to hear you guys' opinions, and then I give you mine. Something me and Doug talked about a couple weeks back.
Yeah, okay. I don't really like it too much. You know, special teams wasn't really a beacon of light in my opinion. You know, I think the person who should be head coach should have, you know, the track record behind them. And trust me, 1 in 10 teams don't really have a good track record, but you take the good stuff out of what you see. Having just one punt return back or kick return back in 12 games, you know, shouldn't allow you to be the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I would have been happy if it would have been Deuce, if it would have been maybe Caldwell, maybe Evero, you know, but I just don't see the reason why you would make a special team coach head coach. I don't get it.
So I'm thinking nobody want to be in charge of the shit show.
Hey,
that's facts. I guarantee they asked Evero, and Evero's like, no. Thomas Brown's like, nah, I'm good.
Right. Man, them dudes already packing up.
Somebody.
Tabor, I'm not thrilled about Tabor at all. I'm not like devastated by it. I mean, I think a lot of it just because he's been an interim coach, he can He's the guy that's gonna get in front of the press conference for the rest of the week to say why we suck. All right, that's what he's there for. And I guarantee you that I can't never say I DC. He ain't want none of that shit show. Thomas Brown, you've already disrespected him when you took the play calling from him again just the daggone fire Frank Reich. And then Deuce Staley, I mean, I don't know if Frank even really unleash Deuce. I feel like this coaching staff is top flight and high flight as it was. I believe Reich had every single one of them handcuffed. He micromanaged the whole situation. So Tabor's probably the only dude who's sitting here like, I don't care nothing if they talk junk. I'll answer the question. Tabor looked like a real dry guy. He'll sit there, answer your questions, go on about your business. He doesn't care if he gets a head coaching job somewhere. Tabor is just to ride the season out. But you got to think about it. At DC, he still has aspirations of being a head coach. He don't want to be attached to this junk on that major manner, especially if he's not going to get the job. Thomas Brown is, he's not ready to be a head coach, so why would he even jump into the play? Deuce, I don't know what Deuce's aspirations is, but I feel like if you wanted that Steve Wilkes effect last year when they got rid of rules and the guys was at least pumped up and hyped up and fighting for pride and everything else, everything we seen from Deuce Staley kind of say that Deuce was probably the dude to carry the ship the rest of the way. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they have Deuce listed as assistant head coach? I might be wrong on that. So we leapfrogged the assistant head coach to the special teams coordinator when the head coach got fired. Okay. I ain't got nothing else to say. We can't make this joke up, man.
But okay. So here's my thing about that. Me and Doug talked about this a couple weeks ago when it was a possibility and the rumor started that Frank Reich would probably, get fired. Everybody was calling for his firing. And I told him, I said, he had mentioned that he would like to see Thomas Brown or Evero step in as the head coach. And I told him, I was like, I don't want to see that. And he was like, what you mean? I said, the reason why I don't want to see it is because too many times in the National Football League, 9 times out of 10, your interim head coach is always a black coach, whether he's the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, wide receiver coach, running back coach. It always, a person of color. Let me say that, and I'm not trying to put a race card or nothing like that. I'm just stating facts. It always seems to be the person of color who could potentially have head coaching job or have head coaching aspirations to be a head coach one day. And I didn't want to see Thomas Brown or Evero take over a 1-9, 1-10 team and have this shit show on their resume when it came time for them to possibly be a head coach later on down the road. I figure if you're gonna do it, because like I said, the at this point in time, the team is the team. The offense is the offense, the defense is the defense. There's no magic pill that's going to come in and make us go 6-1 or 7-0 the rest of the season. It is what it is at this point. Yeah. So why put that on one of those guys' resumes? They both are young in this league. They're still developing. This is only Vero's second year as being a coordinator. This is Thomas Brown's first year being a coordinator. He was already done wrong a few weeks back when he had the play calling duties and then had it snatched back from him. So my whole thing was, I would not want, if I was either one of those guys, I would not want to be the interim head coach, because I've seen what interim head coaches end up and how it ends up for them when it's come time to eventually name a successor. Just look what Steve Wilkes did last year when he turned around the team and had them on the verge of making the playoff. That wasn't good enough for him to get the head coaching job. So why would Evero or Thomas Brown want to step their foot in this bullshit and think anything different.
Hey,
So,
real quick.
I'm cool.
Hey, real quick. So Charles Johnson, former football player for the Carolina Panthers, I put it on the screen, but it didn't show the full thing. It said, word on the street, Frankie was soft as a pillow. I didn't say it. I only met him 3 times and had to introduce myself all 3 times. Lots to laugh. It's all good, though. I do that a lot with some people in the new staff. So basically, Frank ain't know who Charles Johnson basically was.
Jesus. You know, he might have forgot who he was because Frank kind of had a little bit of Alzheimer's if you really look at him half the time.
I mean, Rex Ryan said it looked like he aged 10 years this season.
Yeah, he did. Like in a matter of like 3 games, he went from late 50s to 82.
I would like to say thank you, Frank, for your efforts that was displayed. Thank you for saving Thomas Brown's job.
Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact.
If you'd have let him keep calling plays, they would have fired Frank.
Oh, this dude is awesome.
So, like, think about this. Frank already knew after everybody got hired, it was a shit show, right?
Right.
He knew if he did not take the play calling back from Thomas, somebody had to get fired.
Right.
Why would he let Thomas get fired when his career is just starting in the NFL? So he took the play calling back because he already knew the team was bad. We have offensive line problems. He saved Thomas's job. Because if Thomas would have been calling plays, he would have got fired. Then everybody was still blaming Frank. The reason why the interim coach is not Deuce is because they took Deuce's advice to sign Sanders, and you see what happened.
God dang.
I don't think that was all on Sanders though. He had a flat tire the majority of the year with an O-line with no push.
Yeah, he had a pull groin, but at the beginning of the season, let's just call it what it is. Sanders fades in the second half anyway. When he was healthy with the Eagles, it's the same thing. That's why he got phased out. The season has got longer.
I just can't say that about Sanders because we're talking about a guy that was Pro Bowler last year.
Okay.
4th or 5th leading rusher in the league.
Can I stop you there? Can I stop you right there?
Super Bowl.
No. We will solve your argument right now. Did the Philadelphia Eagles have the same injuries that the Carolina Panthers had on the offensive line, or was their offensive line healthy all year? And we saw what Sanders can look like behind a healthy O-line.
I'll take the latter.
You know what I'm saying? Everything we're seeing right now, we cannot say like, oh, Frank sucked, this team sucked. No, we had injuries. We know now, we all know the game is won in the trenches. We know that.
Yes, fact.
The trenches we have right now, we're beat up. There's nothing we can do. I heard y'all saying, let's move Icky to guard. Newsflash, if he can't give Bryce 3 seconds on the edge, how's he going to give him 3 seconds in the middle?
Talk, Poppy. Talk that talk.
If you want to see what Icky will look like, go to the Chicago Bear game. Look at Terrell Jenkins, number 78 or number 76 at right guard. He's a split image, body type, play style, and everything of Icky. Watch when Derek Brown got a hold of him that game. He was busting him down. So you want Bryce to have a chance to run from his life with Icky, or would you rather for him just to come up the middle? You think Zavala was bad? Put Icky there.
I think Icky's going to be a little bit better because Icky's worst problem at tackle is that lateral movement into an open space. He's at the end, and he's just not that quick of footwork. I feel like if you put him in a more contained space and
what position he played in college?
His power and his
what did he play in college?
He comes off better. I think Aquanu's better than Jenkins. I think that's a horrible comparison. I think the only comparison.
Okay. What did Icky play in college?
He played left tackle. He played left
tackle. So
college is quick. NFL is quicker than college.
Okay, then. If NFL is quicker, if NFL was
quite
quicker,
honest, there's only 2 teams in the ACC, really.
All right, man. I'm gonna ask you this.
Okay.
If the game is quicker in the NFL,
right?
We have defensive ends running 4.4s to 4.7s. We have defensive tackles running 4.6 to 4.8. Right?
Some of
Icky cannot block a regular guy at defensive end. How is he gonna block somebody like Aaron Donald up the middle?
Because a guy on the defensive end where he's getting beat is because of the fact their first step is quicker and they have space to run around him. If you got him in a guard where there's a tackle on the other side and a center on the other side, it's still not going to be as easy to get around Aquanu in the middle as it is on the outside. It's really a speed of footwork for Aquanu that's the problem at tackle. At least playing left tackle.
That too. He would definitely be more beneficial in limited space. His footwork has definitely shown that he's not capable of being out on an island by himself. So the other my question back to you, Poppy, is Iquano was 6th overall pick in the draft last year. So basically, he's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere for another 2 years. So
Yeah.
in the meantime, while you do have him, if you were to make an adjustment, or let me just ask you this question: if you were the next head coach and you were taking over the Panthers next year, what would you do with Iquano?
Leave him there.
Leave him at
If we
tackle?
move, we already have a
Uh,
revolving door at guard, right? If we move him,
right,
we're gonna have to move somebody else to tackle. We already have a left tackle. Guess what? He can block better when we're running the ball first. We saw that last year. That's where he got his
right,
status, right? That's what we have to
right.
do now. We know what we have in him. We slide him in the inside, say he plays worse. What we're gonna do then? We're gonna have to draft a left tackle and a
But
left
but
guard.
but but you but you're trying to put the buggy before the horse. We don't know that. We don't
My
know
thing
that
is,
until we put him there. So you have
my
to give him a
question,
shot. Like he's not working out at left tackle right now. That's evident. Everybody can see that. Nobody can honestly
That's
say
not
what
true.
he
Last year
will.
he played well.
That's last year, but he has regressed
we ran
significantly
the
since
ball
last year.
85% of the
So
time.
what? Right. So matter of fact, Al Wallace and Will Kunkel had a conversation on Twitter last night, and Will Kunkel asked this specific question. I wish I could put up on Twitter right real quick, but his thing was: is Icky regression? Is there regression in his game? And Al Wallace, who is former defensive end for the Panthers, he said he don't think it's really regression with Icky. He said he think that the scheme that we ran last year, the smash mouth,
Yeah, it's
run the
totally different.
first, play action pass, mask a lot of Icky's deficiencies.
That's a fact.
Now he's in a scheme where it's asking him to do some of those things that was primarily his not his strength
Right.
last year. They were his weaknesses. And now that the light always shines bright. The light will highlight you when you're good, but it also show you your blemishes as well. And right now, his blemishes are getting exposed.
But his
And then, like
blemishes
I
was
said,
there
you
last year, though. Like, this is nothing new. We're going to have to ride this out. No matter where you put him on the line, if he does not get better, we're still going to have to draft somebody. We might as well leave him where he's been playing from high school to college. And
so
in the
what are we doing
NFL,
with Brady Christensen?
what do you mean what we're doing with him? Can he even stay
Christensen
healthy? Can he
Christensen's a
stay
better
healthy?
tackle. Christensen's a better
You
tackle than
have you
Aquanu.
seen him play tackle in the NFL?
Brady Christensen is a better left tackle than
Okay, so
Aquanu.
I'm gonna ask you this: have you seen him play tackle in the NFL?
Who, Christensen?
Yes.
Rule moved him a couple of times.
Okay, then. So you can't say he's a
In
better
the
left tackle
preseason.
because he's getting body at
But
guard. He's getting
but
bodied
but
at
but
No,
guard.
that's unfair, bro. Because Christensen
but
really
that yeah
his
that's
biggest flaw
yeah
has been
that's
his injuries, bro. That's been his biggest
but
thing is he hasn't been able to consistently stay healthy to this point.
Okay.
here's the other biggest flaw in the argument though, Poppy. When he
What's up?
came out of BYU, when Christian came out of BYU, he was a top rated left tackle in that draft that came out. 3 years started at BYU, grade out at like a 96 or 97 uh percent grade that year. He didn't get the benefit of the doubt of playing left tackle in the league because Matt Rule immediately started cross training him to play center, play guard in training camp in the preseason. So he didn't get a real legitimate shot to play left tackle. Now you talk about Equano being playing left tackle in college and high school. Brady Christensen did the same thing. And to be honest with you, I'm a big Ike Equano fan, but Brady Christensen had better numbers college wide from the left tackle position. So
This is the
he hasn't
NFL.
gotten a fair shot but he hasn't gotten a fair shot or the opportunity to play left tackle in the NFL is what I'm trying to say to you.
Okay, so
Give him a
like,
shot.
can I
You
ask you
have
this?
it if you want to know what somebody can do, what they can or can't do, you have to give them a shot to show it to you.
Okay,
But go
so
ahead.
let's say we move Christensen to left tackle, and let's say he sucks. We move Iku to left guard, and let's say he sucks. What do we do then?
But
We're gonna have the same
but
problem. Hold on, we're gonna have the
no,
same problem we have
but
now, but
you're
later.
speculating.
But
Now,
you're
now you're
speculating that he's gonna play
speculating.
good at left tackle, though.
No,
You're
I
speculating.
didn't say that. That's not what I said. I said to combat to combat what you said is why why hasn't he played left tackle in the league? And what I said was he hasn't been given the opportunity to play left tackle in the league. I'm not saying that he's going to be better than Icky, or he may even suck. Who knows?
Can
He
I ask you
hasn't been
this?
given an opportunity to play left tackle in the NFL. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is the problem we have now. It don't matter who we move around. We're still gonna have the problem now, and we're gonna have it in the future. Icky's already having a problem to everybody. He can't pass block. We already knew that last year. That's why we run heavy. He looks good when the defensive end is tired, but anytime the defensive end is fresh, he can't keep up, especially if we're passing on first down. Now, you want to talk about Brady Christensen? He can't stay on the field. That is a problem. You're not going to put somebody, if he cannot stay on the field at guard, how is he going to stay on the field at tackle when there's more athletic outside linebackers and edge players that he's going to be getting hit all the time with? A lot
No,
of time at
I mean
guard, you don't even have nobody on you
I
unless
get
they
you.
line up on you.
One of the things that I said on my podcast, Two Fans and Stands, last year, and I've been a major component.
Hey, real
Sound
quick,
like
before you go on, go ahead and shout out your whole
Yeah.
podcast right now for everybody, man. Let them know where they can find you at real quick, man.
Oh yeah, Two Fans in the Stands. That's Two Fans in the Stands. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We try to do like 2-3 videos a week. Right now, my cousin and I, CJ. It hasn't really been too much positive news to talk about in Panther Nation, but we still try to drop some a couple times a week. Life has happened as well. We were trying to do a live every Saturday, so hopefully we can get back to doing that soon. But yeah, Two Fans in the Stands with Tony and CJ. Hey, come on anytime, man. Tap in with us, especially when we go live. We try to let it be known a day or two in advance that we're going live. Where if you see us and we live, man, come chop it up with us. We talk about anything Carolina Panther related, anything football related. To be honest with you, because I'm all about ball, no matter who it is.
Facts. Appreciate that, man. Y'all go ahead. Y'all continue, man. This is a good conversation, man.
Yeah, I forgot where I was at.
No, we were talking about how Brady Christensen, if we move him to the left
Oh,
tackle, give him opportunity and put
yeah,
Icky at left guard, but Brady Christensen can't stay on the field, so we still
that's
gonna have the
true.
same issue.
That's true. One of my main things about Brady Christensen last year, and we said it on the podcast over and over and over again. I always felt like he was the weakest link at guard because I didn't think he weighed enough to play the brand of football that we was schemed to play last year. If you look at our offensive line last year, when you talking about smash mouth north south, getting downhill, or needing to get a 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, who you gonna run behind? He was always the weakest link in that type of scheme. This scheme, I thought, fit Brady Christensen better because he's not that big, and you're not asking him to smash, head to head with 320, 330-pound defensive linemen, defensive tackles every play. You get him out on the edge, you get him moving, with this wide zone running scheme that we were, I would say trying to implement this year. I thought that would fit more into his wheelhouse because of his size. And I felt like maybe if given opportunity, you might want to see what he can do at tackle. He can be the backup. This was last year. He could be the starting left guard, but he also could be the backup left tackle to Icky if something ever happened to Icky last year. He can kick over to the left tackle position, and then you can plug in whoever you need to plug in at left guard. But that's my one issue, my main issue with Brady Christensen. I just don't think he weighed enough for us to put him in at the left guard or any guard position or the interior offensive line, period, to run the kind of scheme that we was trying to run last year. I just thought this scheme would benefit him more, and I hate that we didn't get an opportunity to see how it would play out with him in this Frank Reich scheme.
Can we be honest? Deontay Foreman made our offensive line look better than what it was. Because Foreman broke so many tackles. It's like a while. Like, don't get me wrong, the O-line, that scheme that they had was good for them. But let's be quite honest. How many second and third contacts did Foreman take and then just would end up getting another 9-10 yards half the time?
I can't agree with that, D, because let's like you said, let's just be honest. Deontay Foreman was not like he was breaking 3, 4, 5 tackles every time he touched the ball.
But he was wearing them down.
Yeah, man.
No, I mean, yeah,
I gotta disagree with that too, man, because we seen Sam Darnold last year in that Tampa Bay game. We saw PJ Walker in that Atlanta game, both Atlanta games, throw the ball. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't. Listen, Foreman was an added asset to this offense last year, but make no mistake about it, we threw that ball. We threw that ball also.
Yeah, we had a deep threat too, a reliable one.
I mean, yeah.
But I mean, like
Foreman wasn't the catalyst that got everything going for the offensive line. I mean, for the offense to make points, get points. We threw the ball down the field as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can never.
Yards,
but I think Foreman, like you were just saying, and I agree. Foreman was the catalyst to get them shots down the field because they started stacking the box trying to stop Foreman.
No. I said I don't think he was it. Predominantly, he was not it. We threw the ball down the field.
That's the truth about what happened.
We ran 200 yards on Detroit.
Go back to the Seattle Seahawks game last year. Go back to that game. Did we not throw the ball in that game?
Go to the Detroit Lions game after Wilkes took over.
Hey, let me
bring the numbers
in. Wait. But the Seattle Seahawks game was before the Lions game.
Yeah, and that was still ruled. Things didn't turn around until Wilkes came.
Hold on. The Tampa Bay game with PJ Walker, that was before the Lions game.
Get out.
Both Atlanta's games.
Are we getting out?
Before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let me bring the numbers into this conversation.
Okay.
Because what P about a week ago I said we don't have to be efficient in the shit at one thing, but we've got to be able to establish either the run or the pass. Last year as a team we rushed for 2,200 yards. This year through 11 games, we're at 1,000. So why do we sling the ball? Because Foreman and Hubbard established a run where we could pass. Where defenses and corners are playing 5 yards off the ball, and they know the ball's either going to be ran or it's going to be thrown 5 yards off the ball. We're not efficient at anything.
No, we're
not. We got to be good at one to open up the other. We don't have to be great at either one, but we got to be decent at one of them to open up the other. And
let me ask you this.
Go ahead, Tony.
Okay, but just basing it off a scheme, we can all agree that the scheme this year is not the scheme last year, correct?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I'll tell you because I'm an offensive guy, dude.
Not only running. We ran less play action than we ran last year, correct?
Right.
So when you're talking about even if you are shotgun scheme dependent type of offense or whatever, pistol, RPO, whatever. If you want to keep the defensive line from teeing off on your quarterback, you have to run some play action pass. People don't realize or understand how much a half a second means to a quarterback when they drop back to pass, or a half a second or a slight hesitation for an offensive lineman to get their hands on the defensive lineman when he's not just teeing off, to get after your quarterback. Play action pass works for a reason, and we don't run it this year like we did last year. The
Because we
offensive
can't.
line,
Can't run the
just
ball.
but here's the thing. I'm just gonna say this right here. There's no running back that ever played the game besides Barry Sanders that can make his offensive line look good and not vice versa. You can
LaDainian
only run the
Thompson.
ball. Who?
LaDainian Thompson.
Yeah.
LaDainian Tomlinson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian
LaDainian
Peterson.
had it. Hold on.
Derrick
But
Henry.
those guys had good offensive lines. They didn't have no shit show offensive lines. They didn't
They
have
did
no
not have
offensive
good
lines
offensive line,
like
bro.
they did not have no offensive line like they get like we got right now this year.
The offensive line we got this year is because of injuries. That's the problem. We wouldn't be in a situation at all with our offensive line, and we wouldn't have a problem if we didn't have all these injuries. That's what it is.
This year, game
Okay,
one.
so let's talk about this. Let's talk. I'll say this real quick. And look, I'll talk about this real quick, and I'll be quiet. I'm a very offensive line guy. That's what I watch. That's what I do. I'm gonna tell you something.
Okay.
When you're playing offensive line, you get hurt when you're getting attacked. Okay, when you're sitting up here and you're trying to do these zone blocks all the time, you're getting ear hole, you're getting hit in the chest, you're doing all this. But when you put your hand in the ground and you go a helmet on a helmet like we did last year, and we start moving bodies, and then like what D said, we got Foreman. He's hitting the lane hard. He ain't juking. He's running straight. He does one little wiggle when somebody's about to tackle him, and that's what we needed to do. We didn't have no injuries last year on the offensive line, is because we were the aggressor. We went from a run.
Did we lose him?
What happened to Poppy?
He just died.
Did we lose you?
And if you to add to him, if you look at how Chuba runs, Chuba's still trying to run like the old block scheme. If you look at how Chuba hits that hole.
You said Chuba?
Yeah, like you notice how his approach is to run, and he's not really lateral anymore like in his early years. He tries to hit the hole aggressively.
Hold on, he only been in the league what, 3 or 4 years? What you mean earlier years?
The first 2 years when he was fumble prone and he wasn't getting any real yards those first 2 years, bro. Last year was his best year. Last year was his best year production-wise.
Hold on, D. Hey, man, I want to welcome my brother, man. My brother, Uncle Quan. What's going on, man?
Uncle Quan was good.
I appreciate that. What's going on with y'all, fellas?
Hey, man, we hanging in here, man. Hey.
I hear it, man.
Crazy news, right, man?
Hey, about time. About time, man. It's about damn time.
Yeah, man. Hey, Uncle Quan, tell us how you feel, man. Like give us, real quick, if you guys have not subscribed to Uncle Quan's page on YouTube, make sure you go do that right now. Great breakdown of film. I mean, this dude is top notch, man. Game day vlogs. I mean, him and C Dougie be going out to the games. If you guys have not subscribed to these two gentlemen page, C Dougie, what's up, Doug, and Uncle Quan, please go do it immediately right now. All right, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely appreciate that, man. Really, how I'm feeling. I mean, I'll say this: it's about time we fired Frank Reich. I mean, me and C Dougie, we've been going to the games, and hell, C Dougie will tell you firsthand, man. He's been yelling that we need to fire Frank Reich from the get go. So, honestly, how I'm feeling about it personally, I mean, yeah, it's nice that we fired Frank Reich, but I still don't see like an immediate turnaround. This is a team that's really just going to have to be built from the ground up moving forward. So I'm still nervous. We still got David Tepper, who we can't get rid of, who's going to still make these decisions at the end of the day. He's going to be the one to make the decisions on who's going to be our next head coach. So is it nice that we fired Frank Reich? Yes. I think he was a terrible coach. His philosophy was just the same every week, doing the same thing. It was just not working, literal insanity. So it's good that we fired Frank Reich, but again, this is going to hurt the development of Bryce Young. I mean, going through all these different play callers, different coaches. I mean, he's in his first year, only played 10 games so far. So it's gonna hurt his development. But we got to get this thing right moving forward, man. We can't keep going through the same thing. We've been going through coach after coach, quarterback after quarterback. So we gotta figure this shit out. We gotta keep Tepper out of the football decisions and just let this man be a businessman. Just let him open up the pocketbook when it's time. Let him, pay the money when he needs to, but stay out of the decisions as far as the football goes, man. So how am I feeling? I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, I'm still a little worried, man.
But Quan, but that's the thing though. How do you keep Tepper out when he's the owner?
And that's the thing.
That's like
deal with
that's
it.
yeah.
Gotta deal with it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I'm thinking that here's my belief. I believe if we get the right head coach in there and things are starting to look on the up and up, we're progressing, we're coming together as a team, things are looking better than what they have been looking the past 4 or 5 years. I don't think David Tepper will have his hand in it as much as he does right now. I think right now he wants to steady the ship. And I understand him being the owner, him being the type of person that he is. He wants to be at the head of righting that ship. And I think once the ship gets right, then I think I'm hoping. Let me say, I don't think. I'm hoping he would step back and let the football people handle football. That's what I'm hoping.
Like I said, for me, Quan said it. I've been at games. The last game I think we went to, I think that's Houston, and I was shouting. Even if we won, I was shouting "Fire Frank Reich." I've been saying it all year. Like, Demetrius, I'm not joking. Like, I went hoarse trying to say "Fire this man." And for me, like I said, I don't want anybody to lose a job, but you showed me week 2 that your philosophy is outdated. Week 2 of the season, we're 0-2. We still can make the playoffs possibly. The problem is when you threw your players underneath the bus and you're supposed to be this leader of men, this play call that was in Philly, you can do good with quarterbacks, what have you. I lost all respect for Frank Reich.
Oh, man.
And like I said, one of the jokes that I always say, Matt Rule is underneath the Frank Reich skin, and he's like, "Fooled you guys, I'm still here." Because nothing has really changed from Matt Rule to Frank Reich's regime of being a head coach. Nothing has changed. The only thing that has hurt us more, we have more injuries, and you can't do anything with injuries. Other than that, the play calling, the philosophy, the head coaching, the decision making, you went to a Super Bowl, have a Super Bowl ring. You're doing the same thing Frank Reich was doing. I mean, the same thing that Matt Rule was doing. So for me, again, I think Quan said it, and I know Tony said it. David Tepper can't be in the way on this one.
Nah, he can't. He can't.
But I'm more afraid of if he keeps Scott Fitterer, but I think Scott has to be gone as well. But if he keeps Scott Fitterer, I'm more afraid of Scott making a decision by himself than, again, David Tepper having a consultant or having somebody like Robert Kraft, somebody, I'll give you a young name, somebody like John Lynch. Just look what John Lynch and the 49ers are able to do. Somebody that has had success be in his ear and be like, this is what you need to do. Look at what the Detroit Lions did. Brought in Dan Campbell. Look how many coaches he's going to have be pulled for him this upcoming year.
Hey, real quick.
You know what those two have in common? You know what those two have in common? Former NFL players.
That's a fact.
Someone that has played the game. Someone that has played the game, that know the little nuances that someone that's never played the game and maybe coached 30 years don't even have, because you didn't play the game. You never put your hand in the dirt. You never play press man coverage. You never play cover 1 or cover 2 safety. You know what I'm saying? You can't see it through their lens.
You're right. Hey, real quick, guys. So I'm looking on Twitter right now. And of course, this is going to be the new hot thing for content creators to be talking about who will be the next head coach. And I'm looking at this post that Sheena reposted from Jamie Einsner. And it says, who will be the next head coach? And this is a whole bunch of names here. So I'm going to read them off real quick. You got Ben Johnson, Jim Caldwell, Jim Harbaugh, Evero, Eric Bieniemy, Brian Johnson, Mike McDonald, Bill Belichick, Thomas Brown, Bobby Slowick. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
Bobby Slowick.
Yep. Dan Quinn, Gerard Mayo, Lincoln Riley, Brian Flores, Chris Tabor, Kellen Moore, and Raheem Morris. What do you guys say to that?
It's only a couple of names: Ben Johnson, Eric Bieniemy, or the Houston Texans OC. That's the three I'll take.
He's not going nowhere.
Who is
Ben Johnson?
Bobby Slowick.
Bobby Stoic.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I'm not sure that you will want him because I don't think this is his first year being the offensive coordinator.
That's a fact.
Yeah, this is his very first year. Now he comes from that Kyle Shanahan system. You know, I believe he was the quarterbacks coach or offensive, and he was something last year in San Francisco, and he came with DeMeco Ryans to Houston. I just feel like whoever you get, whether it's a defensive or offensive minded head coach, you have to have somebody that's an innovator. And if you go and get a defensive minded head coach, he has to hire an offensive minded innovator as offense coordinator. Matter of fact, you have a couple of them. You have one on your team right now in Thomas Brown. I would think that if you want to give him a fair shot at being offensive coordinator, the next head coach will realize they already have one already on the team.
Wait, who? Thomas Brown?
Yeah. I'm just saying that his future as offensive coordinator go, not saying that him being the next head coach. I just think him coming from that Sean McVay system and knowing that system, and instead of marrying that system with Frank Reich's triangle read system, if he had an opportunity to have 100% control of the system and run it like he wants to run it, because remember, Thomas Brown is a huge Bryce Young fan. He wanted Bryce Young.
Hold on, say it again, because some people didn't believe when Quan and I were just on somebody else's channel. I just made that point. Can you say it again for the people in the back, Tony?
Yeah, he was a huge Bryce Young fan. It's really publicly known that he was a Bryce Young fan, and he said he wanted Bryce Young from day one. I mean, right, I don't know what.
Let me ask this, Demetri. Let me ask this, and if I'm wrong, please correct me with the way I'm about to go in order. We got Tampa Bay this week, right?
Right.
I will be at the New Orleans Saints game. I'm a little bit excited now because I won't be able to see Frank Reich in Nola. So y'all might get to see me back in the Panthers jersey when I go out in Nola. I was gonna have my polo. Like I said, I call myself the Polo King because my closet is full of it. But I might pull that 8-ball jersey out. But so we got Tampa, we have New Orleans. Then is it It's not Atlanta, is it?
It's Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. Then is it Jacksonville?
Green Bay.
No, Green Bay,
Jacksonville, then Tampa.
Okay. So now you see where I'm kind of going. Okay. So this is no downfall on what Tony said. I want Thomas Brown to flourish in this role. But do we have to get W's in order for us to really see the offense flourishing underneath Thomas Brown? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the schedule that we just broke down,
right?
We have 3 division opponents.
Yeah.
And you have the Green Bay Packers, who now are fighting for the playoff to get the 3rd wild card seeding. And you had the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a top 4 team in the AFC.
Jacksonville Jaguars is killing everybody right now, bro.
So again, how many games underneath Thomas Brown do we have to win in order for him to get a fair shot and possibly being a head coach candidate for the Carolina Panthers.
You know what?
But
In my eyes, to be honest, if I'm thinking about it from a league standard, I would have to say every single one, just like how they did Steve Wilkes last year. In their eyes, in my eyes, maybe 3. That
Jacksonville game is an L already. I'm
Jacksonville game's an L, bro. Like we ain't beating
Jacksonville before the season even started.
Now Jacksonville almost lost. If old boy, I mean, they could have took it to overtime.
So you remember what I told you in your chat? I didn't watch Carolina at all yesterday. Right. I can back watch my team. I'm a supporter of my team, but I'm not about to sit there and waste my Sunday on watching something that's going to tip me off and I'm going to break something. Right. That particular game right there, basically, I think Jacksonville's going to win their division now because that was like basically if Houston would have won, we're talking about a different story. Right. But in that particular game, the Jaguars kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's what allowed Houston to come back because Houston was down. Was it 17, 14 or something like that? It was either 14 or 17. And CJ Stroud had back-to-back touchdown drives. Mm-hmm. But Jacksonville was taking control of the game the entire time. So again, I even think I've said that Jacksonville Jaguars are a dark horse for the AFC. They can't afford to lose any games if they're trying to be either 1 or 2 seed, what I think Baltimore's probably going to get now. Because you still have the Chiefs that are still a fighting chance. Then you had the Baltimore Ravens. You had the Miami Dolphins. The Bills lost a heartbreaker last night. I watched that one on the road yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, again, they can't afford to lose the Carolina Panthers going into, I think that's New Year's Eve game, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No. It's on Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve's Green Bay. We play Jacksonville New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
No. Like I said, that's my fault too with the schedule. I messed it up. I think
real quick. So is Tampa? I'm not Tampa. Is Jacksonville and Houston in the same division?
Yes, because it's them. Indy. So it's Jacksonville, Houston Texans, Tennessee Titans, and the Indianapolis Colts.
Hey, we may lose. Oh no, we beat Houston. I'm about to say we may lose to their whole division.
Yeah. But for me, I know
we ain't had no business beating Houston.
What'd you say, Quan?
I said the crazy thing is, man, we ain't had no business beating Houston, man. The way
we were at the game. I'm not lying. Like it was a couple of throws that CJ had that if it was just on track, we would have definitely lost that game, and I think the momentum would have changed because that Nico Collins throw was beautiful.
But our defense was stupid that game too, yo. The defense was like on point.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably the best they played all season as a unit was in that Houston game.
And it could have been because they didn't want Bryce to lose to that. I mean, you already 1-6 at that time when we go into this game.
Right.
0-6. So, the
1-6.
first versus the second, they probably was playing so Bryce's name wouldn't look bad.
I mean, they were also playing, man, because they were coming off the bye week, too. They tried to get a reset button, man. They tried to, kind of go on the streak from there. So I feel like that was their motivation as well, man. They were coming off of the bye week. They really just wanted to start something new.
All right, I'm going to read y'all 2 things, Demetrius. I'm on IG now.
Yeah.
So, something Phil Yates that works for ESPN just trended, and it's not funny, but I'm going to laugh when I'm reading it. Frank Reich is the first coach in NFL history to be fired mid-season in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
That's sad, bro.
So,
that's sad. He had no business
how real is that?
Coach no more.
Now, this is the thing that I like. So, Jamie, is this Eisner? They just did, you know how they do the betting, like who's gonna basically win the Super Bowl or who could be your next head coach?
Yeah.
So they have. I'm just gonna read the top 4, and one name I think shouldn't even be on this list. It's the same list that you gave, but they have them as betting odds now.
Yeah. That's actually one I saw. I just didn't read the betting odds. Yeah.
So for me, I don't think Jim Caldwell should even be in. Jim Caldwell, but I mean they have Ben Johnson first, then it's Jim Caldwell, Jim Harbaugh, and Evero.
Yeah.
Out of all those 3, I would not be mad with any 3 of those any 3 of those coaches. Because again, Evero has done a great job with this defense. But the problem I have is, who is he going to have as his OC? So Tony made a good point. If Thomas Brown does well and we give Evero the head coaching job and Thomas Brown doesn't do well, I think everybody will still be upset that he's still our OC underneath a new regime with Evero being the defensive coordinator and head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that wins or losses should determine whether Thomas Brown remains as offensive coordinator. And why do I say that? Because let's just be real, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our offense is terrible. It's hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't finna turn hot garbage into top dollar recyclable piece of furniture, you know,
right.
overnight. That was dumb analogy, but that was just something I could think of at the moment. But all I'm saying is, I want to see, now that Frank Reich is not in Thomas Brown's way as far as calling the plays, I just want to see competent football, being able to move the ball, create opportunities for Bryce Young to produce, and give the offense a chance. Because we can sit here and say, well, yeah, you know, he has to win at least all of them or 3 games. Well, we have a defense too that has to stop people in order for us to win.
But
so
they
Thomas
have,
Brown,
Tony, they have been doing it lately.
Okay. But what I'm saying, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that has to happen. You know what I mean?
Hey, to elaborate,
go
ahead. My bad. I ain't mean to cut you off, Tony. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Quan. Go ahead.
To elaborate on your point, man, I definitely agree. I mean, we're not expecting winnings at this point in the season. I mean, obviously, like you said, we got a trash offense. We got way too many issues beyond, you know what I'm saying, just the coaching. So,
facts.
like I said, our offense is trash. But if you see a little bit of improvement, at least something better than what we've been seeing. I mean, you can't be any worse than what Frank Reich has been calling. I mean, you've seen the play call, you've seen the tosses on 3rd down, you've seen the screens on 4th and long. Like, it's just dumb shit that we've been seeing. So just show us something different. Show us some kind of innovative offense, some kind of creativity. Like, utilize the motion, something, man. Use your personnel to the best of your ability. I know we don't really have a good personnel. We don't really have receivers or offensive line, but let's see what we can do with what we got. At least show some type of improvement in order to be able to earn this coaching job next year.
So I honestly think. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Oh no. Go ahead, because I just want to pose a question that just had been burning me up since yesterday.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
How do y'all feel about the Panthers having Raheem Blackshear inactive yesterday?
Oh, don't do that, because
bro.
Demetrius is a big Blackshear fan. So when you said that, I already knew he was about to blow up. He is a big Blackshear fan.
Hey, I'm right there with him. I'm right there with him, taking it around with it.
Demetrius is a big Blackshear fan, and
me too, dog. Me too, dog. For the life of,
go ahead, say
it, bro. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you deactivated Raheem Blackshear to add Amir Smith-Marset to the active roster, but you run the ball. You don't throw him the ball. You gave him 1 screen pass. I think that personnel use is horrible. Now, I did like the new punt returner that they had yesterday. You know, he did a lot more than Amir Smith-Marset, but I mean, I don't know his name. Something.
You talking about Deshaun Jameson?
Yeah.
That's the boy from Texas.
Yeah.
He didn't. He returned kickoffs yesterday. He didn't return punts.
I mean,
he returned kickoffs. He returned kickoffs yesterday after Laviska re-injured his ankle.
Right. But
yeah.
Okay, so Raheem Blackshear has always been a fire starter for this team. Just think about the Houston game. Think about the Indianapolis game.
He went crazy.
Yeah, he went crazy.
In person, it was crazy.
Yeah. And so why would you make him a healthy scratch along with TMJ? I just put up a short the other day.
As a Panther, he's done.
Listen,
He's done. He's out. He's out. He's out of here. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, he's mentally checked out. But I just want to throw one stat out there about Raheem Blackshear.
What's up?
He leads the NFL in kickoff returns.
You should even say, Tony, when I say this man is a homer for Blackshear, I'm telling you, just like Quan loves Chuba Hubbard, when you said the name, I'm just surprised he didn't flip out.
Bro, I had to come off. I was muted up. I was doing something on my phone for school. I had to put my phone down, man. I don't understand for the life of me why they do not play Raheem Blackshear. At least at number 2, we know that Miles Sanders he's not adequate enough. You didn't start him at the beginning of the season. You knew he had a growing injury. Why would you bring him in? Miles Sanders' best numbers are from that week 1 game. And week 1, like I told Poppy the other day, week 1 is an anomaly game. You don't know what the other person is doing. The second half is normally when you start to, figure out what someone is doing. So you get a better beat on how things are. His second half performance was trash. Once they figured out what he was doing, he didn't. All those yards came in the first half of that game. But Raheem Blackshear was not injured week 1 through week 6. He wasn't.
Facts.
So why would you not play this man after what you saw last year?
Exactly. That was my point. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. So my thing was
that's what I hear to say, D.
Blackshear, I really like Blackshear, especially after seeing him play last year, especially late in the stretch. He was actually somebody I wanted to do film study on early, but nobody was voting for him. I mean, that's how slept on he is. But the thing with Blackshear, he adds an element to that run game and special teams. So I really don't know why we haven't been utilizing him. Facts. I don't even know why he's not, why he keep getting these healthy scratches. I mean, you gotta use him. I mean, you're using Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard back and forth. I mean, it's only getting you but so far. You got to be able to switch it up. Again, this is just another example of how they're struggling with their personnel usage. And it's just, you got to be able to use a guy like Blackshear, man. I mean, the burst that he has, the energy that he has, he can bring something different to the team. I'm not saying he can be like a difference maker by himself, but again, you got to be able to use what you got on your roster. And the fact that you just not using him at all, that's a head scratcher right there.
Yo, let me tell you this. Let me tell you how underslept he is, how overslept, or whatever you want to say it. Even on Madden, they don't even got that man picture on there. It's just a black screen faded out, no picture there. He's my number 1 running back when I'm playing against anybody on Madden. I put him in as number 1, and I run that halfback dive all day.
But yo, the funny thing about it. And
Tony, you still there?
Yeah. No, I'm still here. I was trying to
get
my thoughts together. No. Because I'm a big Raheem Blackshear fan as well. And just like you pointed out just now, Demetrius, like did they not watch tape of him last year with the opportunities that he had when he got in the game? Did they not watch tape when he was in Buffalo? What he did to Carolina in the preseason game, which made Carolina go out and sign him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a great third down back. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can even give you a little, he runs with power. He's not afraid, he's not afraid to run the middle or anything like that. But his dominance was in the return game. And when you have a team, especially offensively, that is inept as Carolina is this year, the one spark plug that you have, you made him inactive.
Yeah.
You made him inactive.
Yep.
Just to get Laviska Shenault in a position to be something that we already know that he's not. He's not no running back. And when he's in the game, he's going to do the same thing he's been doing since he's been in the league, running screens.
And
he's just a gadget guy.
Injured a man to bring him in for one play.
Right. Exactly.
Such a freaking idiot. And you know what? I'm glad Frank got fired. I'm thinking about this now.
I'm glad
he got fired. League happy.
Demetrius, you ain't the only one. I've been praying for this, and when I mean praying, I've been praying for this.
Why we gotta wait to Sunday to figure out who's gonna be inactive, who's gonna play? Oh, I'm not ready to give that type of information out. What?
Hey,
No, I'm gonna tell you what he did this week that just pushed me over the top. I was like, well, he kind of gassed me up. I ain't gonna front. I was a little gassed up when he was asked early on in the week who was gonna be the starting left guard. I think the starting right guard, Austin Corbett, and he was like, yeah, I'm not ready to disclose that yet. You'll find out Sunday. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we about to do something like crazy, like move Bradley Bozeman over to left guard and stick Chandler Mays in that center. I'm thinking we about to do something significant, right? Man, you gonna stick Bill Toth? Who? First of all, who the fuck is Bill Toth? I'm sorry, can I cuss on here?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Because I usually don't cuss on my own podcast, but I when I saw that yesterday, I was like, "Yo, who the f is Bill Toth, man?" Like, come on, bro.
Hey, facts, man. It was a couple of times I saw a couple of different players where I was like, I don't know who the hell that is, man. My brother was asking me because my brother, he don't watch as much as I do, so he was asking me like, who was that player? Who was that player? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I do not know. We just keep seeing different personnel every damn week, and we're not using the personnel that we should be using, man. It's a shit show.
Hey, I'm back on Twitter. Trey Boston just posted. Did you see that?
Snap. Hey, Trey been talking his talk, bro.
Hey, you want me to read it? Did you
What do you say?
Yeah,
go ahead and read it.
He been going on.
So he said, "Let's go, Temp. That's what I'm talking about. Big temper, stepping on business. What's done had to be done. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all because I know y'all listening to me. Temper is one of my favorite owners I played for. We might be down, but only way is up from here. Told y'all I believe me. He got a little adult. And then have y'all seen the little meme where it's the baby, the daddy standing on the baby?
Mm-hmm.
And he talking about standing on business, me and business. So for me, I actually like Trey Boston whenever he was with Carolina.
Yeah, I don't agree with him being the best owner, but go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like some there, man.
Yeah, I'll say that. I would say that I don't agree because he did play underneath Jay Richardson. I don't know if he's doing that because of the racial slurs, the rumors behind that. With so we're not into that. Yeah. But again, I will get David Tepper his flowers for today because he did something that I think was hard for him to do.
Facts.
He did not want to fire this man mid-season. He's admitted that he was wrong. He said it yesterday where everybody just ran to Twitter and reported what he said going out of the locker room. And I think he knew he had to do this now because if he didn't, it was going to get worse. And you don't want to lose your locker room. I think the locker room was already starting to be lost. I think it was lost after yesterday. And now you can, see, that's the problem I do have with David on this. And I know I just talked out of both sides of my mouth. You can't fire David, whatever his name is, Frank Reich, and then still have Scott Fitterer there. Because now you have to have the transition of going into who am I looking at? What names? But the one name that I need people to understand and look out for is Adam Peters. That's the man I was talking about. That's the assistant GM for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get Adam Peters as our GM, the sky is the limit. When I say the sky is the limit, because what is one team that's getting away with highway robbery with the talent that they're able to trade?
Yo, they forget everybody, kid. Bringing everybody.
When I say I don't even know how they were even able to get Chase Young. That's one. Then what they did to us to get Christian McCaffrey. Then what they did to the Redskins to get Trent Williamson. Then we're not even talking about the defensive pieces that they are able. I mean, we talked about Chase Young, but even the other defensive pieces they were able to trade to get.
Real quick, Doug.
What'd you say, Demetrius?
Hey, real quick. So from Darren Gant, the Panthers owner David Tepper, interim coach Chris Tabor will hold a press conference tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Press conference. We're gonna hear David Tepper talk tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. This is gonna be interesting.
Bet.
This is gonna be interesting.
I usually don't. I'm not a fan of these press conferences these days.
I'll be
but
tuned
I gotta tune in for this one. Man.
Yes,
you
sir.
gotta tune in for this one, Quan. This is gonna be some must-see TV here, man.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be must see TV because them reporters, they are going to. This may be the longest press conference we've seen David Tepper do in a while, man. They're gonna drill this dude.
I'm
Yeah.
here so I don't get fined.
Hey, shout out to Austin Wright. That's one of DJ. I call him DJ Spins on my show. He just sent me something. Trey Boston just tweeted again and said he's also heard the job is not finished.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if Scott gets fired, we're good because again, you have a clean slate, and you're able to. Again, he has to do this right.
Mm-hmm.
If you want Evero as your coach, you keep him here at Carolina. If you want Ben Johnson, who you wanted last year, you go get him and pay him the money that he wants.
Right.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Ben Johnson is also from Carolina, correct?
I'm not too sure.
I think I did I'm gonna look that up. But
hell, pay that man what he wants. You paid Matt Rule 7 years, like $63 million just for college
guaranteed.
So yeah, pay that man what he wants.
And the only other one I would say is the Houston Texans offensive coordinator. The only problem I have with that though is I think Houston or Carolina would have went Bryce one. If we got CJ, I really do think Houston would have got Bryce. But I need to know,
no doubt,
how much.
Bryce was Houston's #1 choice.
Okay, so Quan is getting to the point that I'm making. If that is the case, I understand we got Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown can't do it. Why not get the next best thing that showed you what he was able to do with CJ? All these CJ lovers, all these people that's saying Bryce is a bust and all this and that. Bryce cannot possibly have been a bust in Houston's eyes if they were going to draft him if we got CJ Stroud.
Mm.
All right, I see it. Thank you, DJ Spence. So he's from South Carolina. So he's from the Carolinas. I knew Ben Johnson was from the Carolinas.
Yeah, he
from
grew up in
Nashville,
went to UNC.
That okay?
Yeah, but
I'm a big Tar Heel. I should have known that. That's
me
where
too.
I was getting it. That's where I was getting at.
But then Ben Johnson turned down the interview.
No. Because me and Demetrius been talking. We talked about this last week on my channel. Tony, he came, but then he left, and he turned down everybody. He at least came to Charlotte. He was on a plane to Charlotte. I think he either came in the building or he left. But after he left us, he turned everybody down and said he saw something special in Detroit and he wanted to return for a second year. So it just wasn't Carolina.
He saw Tepper and Nicole walking down the aisle, and he's like, "Nah, I ain't got time for this." He got right back on the plane, man.
I'm being serious. If it's Ben Johnson, and I'm speaking before it even happens, if it's Ben Johnson, y'all will probably see more coverage from What's Up Doug Live next year. I can guarantee you that. I was happy. This is 1, 2. I think this is three or four games for me in person. If Ben Johnson is our head coach, just look at what he was able to do. Yes, I know they lost on Thanksgiving. Quan and I were talking about it. Just the innovative mind that he's had with the play schemes and everything. I know we have to get the right people in place, but I'll definitely be in attendance in games. Hey, Sheena's gonna be on show. The Pat McAfee show in 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hold on.
Sheena Quick. I mean,
You said Sheena Quick about to be on Pat McAfee?
Yep. Hey, my bad for plugging that, Demetrius. If you don't like plugs like that. Yeah, if you turn on ESPN right now.
About that.
Yeah, if you turn ESPN on right now, I'm about to make sure I read this correctly.
Can we catch it on YouTube?
Right now. And
yeah, it should be. It should be on YouTube.
They said at 12:11, Sheena Quick will be on the show. I'm about to read it again. It's going back through.
That should be a
Hold
good
on.
one,
It's so right now they're on commercial break right now. I got
no. They not on commercial break. Oh, I'm on direct TV stream, so I might be late. Well,
on YouTube, he's talking right now about the AFC right now.
So I have him. He's talking about the Bills. Okay, the ticker's going across. So I'm about to read this verbatim if I read this correctly. Here, let me unmute it too. Yeah, my bad for the loudest. Let me turn it down first.
Oh no, you good.
Because I actually want to hear Sheena see what she said, because I know she did a space as well, and she said that she was in a studio. So she just held the space and she wasn't able to talk. But I need this to pop back up.
Well, how about this? Because yours is a little bit faster than mine right now. What I'm seeing from Pat McAfee,
okay,
they are. Let's see here. He's talking about
the Bills, right?
Talking about Tyreek and Tua right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about Tyreek and Tua. Yeah, but yeah, I would definitely like to hear.
Yeah, because I'm on the ESPN, so I don't know if he did a different show differently.
I mean, if they're gonna come on in 5 minutes or so,
Okay, here it is. It says, "Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the program on this Pat McAfee show over Reaction Monday. Tweet and let us all know." Okay, so they're basically start back the spinning of the hashtags and everything on the bottom. Let me see. Okay.
Are they talking about the AFC's number 1 seed?
Yeah.
I'm watching it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I got it on my computer.
I'm about to see because it's coming back at the bottom. If you can see it at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, the Jacksonville Jaguars are gonna surprise a lot of people because they got Jacksonville.
Beat reporter.
I mean, I like Jacksonville, man, but
so it is right, Tony. You said she's coming in on what time?
12:10 Eastern Standard Time.
Hey, where
that's in a minute. What'd you say, Quan?
Where can we watch this?
Go on ESPN.
So it's not going to be on YouTube.
ESPN, like,
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube too.
Okay.
It show is always on YouTube. Whenever you see, there it is.
Yep, there it is. Right there. Hey, whoever just posted that's live. That's the exact same thing we're watching right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching right now.
I hope this ain't copyright stuff. Dude, I don't need my stuff going down.
Hey, PPP does not own none of this content. This is just
I'm gonna come off of it right now until Sheena get up there.
Okay.
When Sheena get up there, then I'll go back to it.
Bet.
Yeah. Let me see what they're talking. Yeah, they're talking about Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Darius Butler.
Okay.
And I definitely appreciate you going live at the right time too, Demetrius, man.
Yeah, I was getting ready to talk about who's the problem. What's the issue going on in Carolina, man?
And he hopped on right in time, man. Like in time, because I was right there waiting on you to open up, man. And like as soon as you opened up, I saw that news. I was like, oh shit, man, this was the perfect time to go live.
Yeah, man. I set the live for 9:50. I think the news dropped like about 4 minutes or 5 minutes before I was about to go live. I just clicked the live button, went live right then and there. I had to change the whole script what I was about to talk about.
It's crazy. My wife is not even a Panthers fan. I was in the kitchen cleaning up. We had just got through eating dinner. She was like, babe, oh shit, they didn't fire Frank Reich. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because I called Tony. I was like, I want to go live, but like I just enjoyed the content that when Demetrius came over and TJ held it down for two fans to stand. I said, I'm not even gonna compete. Like I call y'all family. Like I said, y'all done supported me. Demetrius been on the channel. Y'all know Quan is the AKA brother right there, the co-host right there. So I said, I'm just gonna bring everybody that I can over here to the Demetrius platform, and we can just sit here and conversate about it, man.
Yeah, I was cool with that because I was like, CJ pretty much gonna be busy today and tomorrow. So that's why I called you to see if you want to do the recap. And that was even before the news has broke about Frank Reich being fired. So I was like, well, shit, damn a recap. This this is gonna be the most important thing for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. I wonder, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is gonna be great content going forward, man. Who's gonna be the new head coach for the Carolina Panthers?
Oh yeah.
We just had,
Hey, look what I'm about to do.
It's gonna be
Demetrius,
crazy.
I'm about to go back to my old videos where I had and I'm about to repost it, man. I want Ben Johnson so bad.
And you know, it was one comment in here that said that there's been reports that Alabama, you know, news outlets.
I think they better start talking about him now. My fault. I didn't mean to cut y'all off. My fault.
No. You good. Let me see here.
And if Quan at home, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all some insight. Quan got that inner antenna that his stuff move fast. So if he right, he got that inner antenna at that house, man.
Nah, I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
I ain't on the cable. But nah, that's my fault. I just heard him mention Frank Reich. I think he was just picking at him with his point. But I don't think we're talking about.
Yeah, I heard that same thing. I thought she was about to come on.
Y'all let me know. All I gotta do is hit share screen and we on there.
Okay.
12:10. Someone said 12:10. Sheena Quick, ESPN and YouTube. Cool.
Yeah, they 3 minutes behind right now. Yeah. So look at that, man. I cannot believe the Atlanta Falcons. So they're showing a playoff picture right now. So real quick, I'm gonna read off. You got Philly, you got San Francisco, Detroit, Atlanta, Cowboys, Vikings, and the Seattle Seahawks.
This is y'all right here, y'all.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, that shit, yeah.
All right. Shoot. Share screen. Boom. All right.
That's major for Sheena, man.
You said F dash. And then this morning, Frank Reich has been relieved of his duties as the head coach. I believe Jim Caldwell will be a senior consultant on the offensive side of the ball. Coach Tabers of the special teams, Chris Tabers, will be the interim head coach. They have a season left, and now Frank Reich has become the first coach in the history of the NFL to be fired in back-to-back seasons. When was the writing on the wall, and what is Carolina's reaction to this, Sheena?
For me, the writing was on the wall when he took the play calling duties back. Frank Reich knew that he was on borrowed time. And I guess he figured, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down with my own playbook, calling my own plays. So for me, that was the writing on the wall. It was just kind of a matter of time at that point.
When you saw Tepper come out of that locker room, was he saying that so you guys saw that he was mad? Like, was it like, hey, I want to let you know I'm not happy with what happened in there as well? No, actually, it was only myself and one other media member that were outside of the interview room because the interview room is right next to the locker room. So as I walked up, I did see Nicole Tepper, and she was pretty pissed. She still spoke and smiled. And seconds later is when David Tepper walked out, and they left with their handlers, and he was just really, really exasperated. He didn't say it to anyone in particular, but you know how things are just so messed up that you have to just let out an F-bomb. That's what that was. A billionaire having handlers is certainly something as we move forward.
Well, I don't know. I think they were handlers. I mean, they weren't security guards. They were just.
I don't know. Tepper has a meeting with every coach he's ever had. I don't know if he has anybody handling him, but if he does have handlers, I love it. How does Carolina respond to this now? How do the fans feel? What do you think is next for the Panthers?
Oh, the fans are excited. They are moving on and hoping that they get Ben Johnson next year. I wish. Well, I'm sure you guys have seen some of the tweets. We've been on like Frank Reich pack watch since the Colts game, really. Oh. So I think that everybody's excited now. Everybody's just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop because the thoughts are here that Scott Fitterer is next out the door. Now, the timing of that, I'm not sure. But for some reason, the Panthers like to fire GM, fire head coach, fire GM, fire head coach. And that may be why there's a disconnect and why they can't have any continuity at that head coaching position. But I think both of them are going to be out for a fresh slate.
Okay, so is there a fear at all that Tepper's never going to have enough patience to get to a point where you guys will have a winner down there? Is that a thought?
That is a fear. That is a fear. And, there was literally one guy that was willing to die on the hill that Frank Reich shouldn't have been fired today because it's week 12. Everybody else was like, nah, he got to go. And that's one of those things that we were told in the offseason that David Tepper was letting the football people do the football things. And, of course, when the season started spiraling out of control, now we hear that, he was meddling in the quarterback decision. So I'm not sure. It's going to take him hiring a football operations person. Because clearly he doesn't have the patience and he doesn't have good luck either.
Yeah, he needs a football handler.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
He needs a football handler. That's exactly what he needs.
He does. Instead of all the other handlers he's got around. Yeah. Let's get a football handler.
And he's a proud owner too. Like, the man has been getting embarrassed week after week. You know, you guys, his owner was down there dancing to the Meek Mill in the visitors locker room. Jerry Jones holding.
Hey, I'm gonna stop the screen. I'm gonna just play it right here.
Okay. Right. And then Jerry Jones is holding press conferences, and then you're doing a silent count at home. Like, the morale is down, and that has to be getting to David Tepper. He's Carolina has become the get right game that everybody looks forward to, where if your team is struggling, all you got to do is, when you see Carolina on the schedule, you know that's a dub. And that's just not a good feeling, especially for somebody like David Tepper.
There was some stat about Bryce Young being ranked like 431st out of 431 quarterbacks being ranked for something. I forget, maybe points per play or something like that. I forget what it is. Or yards per play. Bryce Young's still the guy. Everybody in Carolina believes he's still the guy. That just has not been an opportunity for him to be good at all this year with the O-line and the way everything else is.
Everybody absolutely thinks that he's still the guy. I mean, of course, you're going to have a portion of the fan base that is seeing C.J. Stroud absolutely falling out. So that doesn't help Bryce's case at all. But you see what he's working with. I mean, the offensive line is out there grasping air. He's on his back or face down on the ground so many times. When he does get a second to throw the ball, there's not a ton of separation with the wide receiver. So the gist is that he's the guy, but they have to get some other guys around him.
D-Buck, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Sheena, why Chris Tabor? Now, a lot of people would expect probably Jim Caldwell, somebody with head coaching experience, to jump in there. But we know Tepper probably is having some buyer's remorse with letting Wilkes walk out of the door. So why Tabor instead of one of those guys that have some head coaching experience? And who is Tabor?
Because you don't. Chris Tabor's he's the special teams coordinator. And to be honest with you, his unit is the only unit that is consistently performing. But he also doesn't have head coach aspirations. So there's no pressure that, I'm not sure how much you can turn it around. You're not going to get a Steve Wilkes turnaround at the end of the season because there's no Steve Wilkes in the building right now as far as culture and things of that nature. But no, Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell's been chilling. Like, he's really just
she
out
just
here
said a
vibing.
word, didn't
Like,
she?
I don't know how involved he's been in any of the offensive decisions thus far. But if you're David Tepper, do you want to have a situation where Jim Caldwell comes in here and is a rock star, and then you feel obligated to retain him, and then you don't?
Yeah.
So then you'll have back-to-back situations like you did with Steve Wilkes.
Well, Will Brinson put together a graphic about pre-Tepper, post-Tepper here. I think Tepper is looking for anybody to have success. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Anybody.
He's not scared to make a move, though, because he owns the soccer team, too. Yeah. He's fired 3 of their coaches in the last 16 months as well. Tepper wants to win now. And if you can't do that, you'll be out the door. But what happens if with salary caps and negotiations and contracts and schemes and strategies that he can't just turn around in 12 months? I'm not saying Frank Reich was the guy that was going to be able to do it, but at some point, he's going to have to let that thing breathe and get a reset. We shall see. We appreciate the hell out of you, Sheena.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheena Quinn. Okay, so let's talk about it. And I just kind of alluded to it a little bit there.
Like I said, that's major, man. That's major right there.
Yeah, she spoke for all of us, man.
No way. Okay. We're all very baffled by it. We're all very confused by it. We're here in Indianapolis. So we actually see and saw what happened with the Colts with Frank Reich. There for a little bit, again, we're going on a run. Oh, my God, this is a guy. He was an assistant coach with the Colts whenever Peyton Manning was the quarterback here. I actually knew him very well from that exact time. He coached me. Frank Reich coached me on how to be a third-string quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He is nothing but a great guy. Everybody absolutely loves him. His history on the field, obviously the greatest backup quarterback in the history of pro ball and college ball. When he's backup quarterback in Maryland, he came in and led one of the biggest comebacks in the history of college football. And in the NFL, he did the same exact thing. This is not about Frank Reich, the human being, but Frank Reich, the coach, has seemingly gone terrible in his last 2 stints. I said it to Sheena there. He's the first NFL quarterback in the history of the league. It's been around a long time.
Long time.
A lot of people have coached. First one ever to get fired in back-to-back seasons.
Crazy.
And when he got fired from Indianapolis here, it was after an embarrassing performance against the New England Patriots. But it wasn't just embarrassing on the field. Behind the scenes, what was going on in the building, his team's culture was also completely dead. People late to team meetings, people late to. Treatments, people missing and being late to. Had numerous guys gambling on and against the Indianapolis Colts who were playing for the Indianapolis Colts. Whenever you say culture, when people talk about it, it was dead and died. here in Indianapolis
Damn.
whenever Frank Reich was the head coach. Am I blaming Frank Reich for that? No, I blame the locker room for that as well. That can't happen. The leaders that were in there, one of them now gone, and Darius Shaquille Leonard, they let that happen under their watch as well, which I publicly projected and said, like, hey, you guys are ruining what the Colts are. But that happened under Frank's leadership. So whenever it all kind of falls apart in Indianapolis, and then he immediately gets the opportunity again with the number 1 overall pick in Carolina, I think to myself, is this what Frank really needs or wants in his life? Shouldn't he have taken like a moment to breathe? Maybe just kind of separate himself from why and what happened in Indianapolis so that if he does get a chance to coach again, it doesn't happen again. It doesn't take place. And maybe his message wasn't finding the right ears at the right time. So we didn't really understand hiring from the beginning. Carolina didn't understand it with the way Wilkes had success. Yep. And here we are sitting down going into week 13 now, and the Carolina Panthers have another interim head coach in another year in which they're probably all eyes are on the draft in next offseason. It's a damn shame for the Panthers fans, but Frank Reich never made sense for any of us, I don't think.
Yeah, not for a lot of people. Obviously, he's an offensive coach. He's had some success, on the offensive side of the ball. Didn't go great in Indy, but he didn't leave with like a losing record either. So it wasn't like a terrible, but obviously we know behind the scenes some of the stuff that was going on. But then you have a guy like Wilkes, you let him out of the building. And then a lot of people were raving about this coaching staff that they put together in Carolina, bringing over Thomas Brown and Josh McCown and Evero on the defensive side of the ball. And it just didn't pan out. No progress. You said, at some point, Tepper's going to have to let it breathe. But 1 in 10, 1 in 11 now?
Yeah, and every stat is bad.
Yeah, going into week 13, you're just not showing any progress. The team, like Sheena said, they're like a get-right game for teams coming in there. And you got to compete. And when you're taking a guy number 1, 2, when you are in that position, heavy is the head. Like you have to kind of raise all tides as well. Andrew Luck was brought into a situation. Obviously, it wasn't as bad as what's going on in Carolina. It was a good team around Andrew Luck. You come in and go to the playoffs. Cam Newton in Carolina, 6-10, I think, is a rookie year, rookie head coach. Like you saw that team. Like, okay, every week Cam Newton is going to be an issue to come in here from day one. So you haven't seen that with Bryce yet. And you obviously can point to some of the things around him as well.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah. I'm glad somebody else sees it. Outside of Carolina.
Rookie quarterback, dumpster fire. Houston, not too long ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I would say you keep playing it, Demetrius, or you or.
Oh no, I'm done. Yeah.
I will say this again. Frank Reich was not the number 1 candidate for the job, but I just thought at this point, if we would have lost to Houston and then lost to the Colts, he was going after the Colts game.
He was going after that game. Yeah. He was definitely
like
going.
That Houston game was really could have been a nail in the coffin right there if he would have lost that game.
Oh yeah, most definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, man. That's why there was so much push on defense because listen, our offense didn't do nothing that game. Our offense hasn't done anything in any game except for Andy Dalton was in. So I mean, and that's not a slight on Bryce. That's not. But all I'm saying is we knew going into that Houston game that we had to do something on defense. Defense did their part. They shut them down. Bryce meticulously went down the field. We had a couple, fourth down. We had a couple penalties that helped us out. But by no stretch of the imagination did our offense actually win that game for us. It was the defense. Defense won Houston game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, all accounts, if we would have won yesterday, it would have been because of the defense. It would have been. Our defense helped. We held Tennessee down. We held Derrick Henry down. Did he even get 100 yards rushing yesterday?
No.
He didn't even get 50 yards rushing on
He had 73.
He had 73 with 2 touchdowns.
76 or 73, something like that. He was under his prize picks projection. That's how I know.
Yeah. Hey, Poppy,
he only had like 24 yards at halftime.
Hey, Poppy, if you want to come back in, man, here's the link, bro. I know you was having technical difficulties with your phone, but here's the link. You can jump back in, man. We still talking.
Yeah, I'm about to get off. Like I said, I work from home, but this news could have not came for me personally, any better. Because I talked to Quan yesterday when Quan was live. I was telling him, I'm just going for the game. Like, I was so mentally checked out with Frank Reich being our head coach. It was like, if I could sell my tickets going to New Orleans, that's how I was really feeling. But
how much the tickets cost?
You're gonna see the seat, and then you know. I'll let you know behind the scenes.
All right.
Yeah, I will say this. Quan knows I don't get nothing unless it's in the lower bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm in. I will say this. I'm in the south end zone.
Okay.
In the south end zone for the Saints game. So I'll do another pregame. I'll do warm-ups, all that. So everybody can see like we did with the Houston game with the Hall of Honor game. We'll go live for pregame where you can see the warm-ups. But
is that just like the ticket purchase that you're allowed to go to pregame and go down to the field and stuff like that, or
no, only reason why we moved was because somebody was saying that there was their seats, but we weren't even far. We were maybe like eight or nine seats from the very front.
Okay.
So I will say at Bank of America, I can't speak for all the stadiums, but at Bank of America, you do got to be sitting somewhere in the 100s in order to be able to get that close to the field.
Facts.
But if you got those tickets, man, you straight. You can go all the way down there.
I'll tell you, Demetrius. I'll tell you the section I'm in.
Because every time I've ever gone to a game, we hear the keep pounding. We're walking on Mint Street, walking in. So I've never been at a game, any Panthers game, before the kickoff started. I've always came in like while they're in the first drive.
Hey, Poppy. Poppy, it's two fans in the stands. Tony, go ahead and drop y'all link. I see Poppy asked, "What's your channel's name?" Is Two Fans in the Stands.
Yes, Two Fans in the Stands, Pop. We appreciate it, man. Just you guys check us out, like, subscribe, feel free to comment. We try to go live every Saturday. Feel free to tap in with us whenever you see us online. Quan and Doug definitely know how to reach out to CJ and I. If you guys ever need us to or want us to come on, one of your shows or whatnot, we are more than inclined and able to do so. We're on YouTube. Find us on YouTube, on Twitter. Not as active on Instagram, but we are active as well on Facebook.
Okay, is it the word 2 or the number 2?
The number 2. Okay. The number 2, Fans in the Stands.
Yes, sir. CJ,
appreciate the subscription. Appreciate it, Austin.
We did let the people know we got something in store for 2024. We didn't tell them everything yet last week when CJ came up, but we did give a little, cliffhanger last week and let the community know that we definitely got something in store with Two Fans in the Stands, Uncle Quan and myself, Tony. So
yes, sir.
Looking forward to
yes,
that.
Sir.
Hey, so Demetrius, it's section 124 and row 21.
Okay.
So, like I said, for that, what I'll be able to do, hopefully in the area, it's not in the corner of the end zone when we were like in Houston for the Carolina Houston game, but it's basically in the south end zone. So,
okay.
But like I said, we'll definitely be in the building. Like I said, I'm hoping JC Horn plays because I'm definitely bringing my 8-ball jersey out. I
only want JC Horn to play to get 1 or 2 interceptions so I can win this prize picks. After that, going back, man. I just need to get 1.5.
That's it. He got that 1.5 on prize picks, man.
I just need that 1.5, man.
Yeah, hey, man. Let me ask y'all a question. How do you all feel about JC Horn going forward? Do you think that he can be counted on going forward as been the future shutdown corner that we have hope since his rookie season?
I do. I'm a big JC Horn fan. A big JC Horn fan.
I mean,
if I'm being completely honest with y'all, man, it's a tricky situation. I feel like from a business standpoint, you got to move on due to his health issues. But at the same time, we are already struggling with cornerback depth due to a lack of drafting cornerbacks and to address that position in the offseason. But it's really tricky, man, because, again, we don't have enough depth to be able to let go of these corners, especially JC Horn, who has a lot of potential when he is on the field. So, I feel like you give him maybe one more year. If he can stay healthy, then, hey, it is what it is. Let's move forward with him. But if not, then you have to, from a business standpoint, you have to move on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, just last thing, Demetrius, and I'm gonna get off. Like I said, if you need me to do any closing thing, I'm gonna get off. But I pulled it up. Hopefully, can you see?
Yeah, I can see. Okay.
That's the seat and that's the view.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
So,
we'll talk in the back if
okay.
Yeah, we'll talk in the back.
Okay.
So JC, I just did a live on that a couple weeks ago, man, and I'm not ready to call him a bust. I'm not ready to give him that title because when he is on the field, he's effective. You know, the Seattle Seahawks game last year, you know, a couple other games that he did play in. The issue is just the availability. Like is it nutrition? Like, is it, you know, like what is
the
it?
nutrition he was doing better with. It was just a freak injury. Let's just be honest. The way he got injured in Atlanta was a freak injury. It wasn't nothing that had to do with him being healthy. It was a freak injury. Yeah. And it happened, and it so happened to happen on turf. Most of the injuries that you're going to have, if you've had a prior injury, is going to be on turf.
Well, I'll tell you like this, man. It's not rooting good for him only because the NFL is a production-based league.
Right.
If you don't have production, like it don't matter how good you are or how good you can read defenses. If you're not available to help us out, then you're no good to me. So, you know,
your best availability is availability.
Yep.
Yeah. So with all that we know about J.C. Horn's injuries, do you consider him injury prone? I'll go first. I do.
Without question. Hey, without question, he's definitely injury prone. I mean, we can't sit here and ignore that. He obviously, since he's been in the league, he hasn't had a full season. You can't sit here and say he's not injury prone. No matter how emotionally attached you are to the player, he's injury prone. He just is.
Did he break his foot? Did he break his foot on that first year?
Yeah, the first year he was in league, he broke his foot.
Yeah,
he broke his foot.
Yeah, he broke his foot in that Dallas game, I think. No, Houston game.
Yeah,
Houston game, he broke his foot.
Go ahead, Poppy.
And again, think about this. All his injuries have been on turf. All his injuries.
There you go, Doug. There you go.
On turf.
But guess what? You gotta play turf regardless. I mean, that's the league. You know, you're gonna have a lot of
teams.
Yeah.
So hold on.
That is facts.
Now Quan's going to a point because we've had a discussion earlier in the year. We even had a discussion with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. I understand that. And I'm gonna allude to what Quan said. I laughed at the video. Whenever my guy went to draft night, he literally pulled up the turf, and he was like, "This turf quality is terrible." Did you not, Quan?
Yeah, it's like concrete, man.
And so when he made that point, I said, "How?" Adam Schefter's talking about Frank right now on Pat McAfee's show. So with me saying that, look at all the injuries that we have had in the NFL as a whole playing on turf. You have the money for it. Think about it. Carolina, we never had that many injuries when we had grass at Bank of America Stadium.
All right, hold on.
I can't say that. I just don't think it was magnified as much as it is now because the injuries are happening on turf. I mean, people get.
Hold on, Tony. I think you're trying to play Adam Schefter.
Hold on, guys.
Not just because he's cooking, but because he's trying to hear what everybody else is cooking. Senior insider for ESPN of the NFL, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.
Russ is cooking, Pat. Russ is cooking. Belated happy Thanksgiving to everybody else right now.
Hey, Russ is always cooking, especially with those Denver Broncos doing their thing. Sean Payton absolutely loves it. We're going to get into cadences, and Russell Wilson's cadences are certainly going to be chatted about at some point. But let's move on to some decisions that are being made around the NFL. We just talked about Tomlin firing Matt Canada, reaping the benefit of it 1 week later. Carolina Panthers this morning decide to fire Frank Reich. A little bit early, obviously, in the season for this to happen for a first-year head coach. And I think, Pete something in 1978 got fired after 9 games. Urban Meyer got fired after 13 games. Frank Reich fired after 11 games. Those are the 3 quickest tenured coaches in the last 45 years or something like that. Frank Reich decision was obvious to everybody. Is that kind of how we view this thing, Shefty?
I think it was the most least kept secret around the league. Everybody knew that eventually this was going to come. You didn't know when, but obviously David Tepper was furious enough after the game yesterday. He'd been scouting out coaching candidates. He's been asking around. Frank hasn't wanted to be there. The energy hasn't been there when he speaks to the people in the building. This was an ill-fated relationship that was doomed to end. It had been percolating for weeks now. It just happened to come this morning. That was the end of it. And really, this is all about, to me, them doing everything that they can to try to keep Bryce Young upright and to try to save and salvage Bryce Young because of all they invested. And they believe that making a change now will help them. We'll see how that works. Frank Reich has had a pretty good distinguished coaching record on the offensive side of the football, but they believe they had to do this. And I think Bryce Young, not personally, didn't tell them to do this, but Bryce Young is behind all this because of all that they have riding on him, which is an incredible amount of draft picks that they gave up last year in Chicago to move up to number 1 overall.
Yeah, Tepper and the Panthers fan base and everybody didn't see any progress really coming from the number 1 overall pick in Bryce Young. That's obviously alarming, especially whenever you're an offensive head coach who's an offensive coordinator. So they decide to move on. Everybody's just assuming they want Ben Johnson, but everybody's going to want Ben Johnson, right? Is there any other spots? Go ahead.
But here's the issue: is last year they wanted Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson didn't want them. So why would, if Ben Johnson didn't want Carolina last year, what's going to make Ben Johnson want them this year? They don't have their number 1 overall pick when they built it around Bryce Young. Now, again, maybe they're going to pay him so much money and give him so much power and control that they can convince him to leave the confines of Detroit to come to Carolina, which he was unwilling to do last year. Ben Johnson's going to get a job somewhere as a head coaching candidate, right? The question is where? So is Carolina the job that he's waited for? And I think this is something that they're going to have to answer now. Again, 2 straight seasons of firing a coach in season. No number 1 pick next year. Bryce Young is your quarterback. You've got issues with how you address the Brian Burns situation when you turn down 2 first-round draft picks last year, and now he's scheduled to be a free agent, and you can't get a contract extension.
Yeah, he's
done.
spitting right now, man.
There's a whole host of issues there that they have to sort through. Now, we've seen in the NFL, as Houston,
it's time to clean house.
It can be turned around like that.
You still got people blaming a rookie quarterback for this being a main reason,
and everything in Houston.
What'd you say, Quan?
I said it's amazing that you still got people out here that believes that a rookie quarterback is the reason to blame right now for where we at.
Facts.
Right now is great. The organization is on the uptick. Everybody's excited about them. There's hope and optimism. And a year ago, the Texans were the most hapless, hopeless organization out there. So it can turn around quick. But tell me where they're going to find the way to get that hope going in Carolina. That's the biggest challenge that they now face.
Second richest owner in sport, so he also has 0 patience, and you have to meet with him after every single game. So, I mean, there's a lot to digest there. But any coach that gets a first-time head coaching gig right now, team's going to be terrible. So let's just go around a couple of the possibilities here. Carolina now is going to be looking for a head coach. Las Vegas Raiders, there's a chance that they're going to be looking for a head coach.
Hell no, Bobby. Are you serious? Where you see that at?
We're all assuming the Commanders, right? Lame duck situation with Ron Rivera, right?
But yeah, let me just cut you off right here before we go into every single team. Last year, I think there were 5 head coaching changes. And if we go back to the turn of the century, it averages 6.8 per year. And in 2 years, you almost always get about 13 or 14. Well, we had 5 last year. You're going to have this year anywhere, I believe, between 7 and 10 head coaching changes. Wow. Yeah, that's what I believe. 7 to 10.
Is that going to happen during the season, or is it like this?
Yo, PPP, I got to head up out of here, man, but I appreciate you having me on the platform.
Yeah, man, most def. Hey, real quick, guys, if y'all haven't, please go and subscribe to Uncle Quan, man. Hey, great content, man. Great guy, man. Y'all go over there and do that. Hey, shout your channel out, man.
Big love, man. I appreciate that. You can find me on YouTube at The Panthers Experience. Uncle Quan, I am on YouTube. Like Demetrius said, I do all kind of film study. I do video vlogs when I go to the games. I'm not going to any more this year. So as far as the content, man, the content is going to be a little slow, but I will be back for like a season recap for like a mega film study, if you will, man. I'm gonna be doing that at the end of the year, and maybe going live here and there for like live play-by-plays when we're watching the game. So that's what my channel is basically about. It's literally the Panthers experience, bringing you guys the experience from my lens, man. Just kind of chopping it up with you guys. I'm all about the community engagement and just kind of hearing you guys' points and stuff like that. So yeah, man, y'all can find me on YouTube at the Panthers Experience. Also on Twitter, the same name, the Panthers Experience.
All right, yes, sir. Hey, man, great having you, man. And we'll be talking a little bit later. I know we will.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all again, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Demetrius,
Right,
let me say this real quick because I heard Tony say, Doug, what Adam Scheffler said, I never knew that as a content creator, a person that does my homework. Tony knows I do homework. I don't just come out, vomit at the mouth and not. I did not know Ben Johnson did not want to come to Carolina. But I do know the reports that came out whenever he did come to Carolina, Adam Scheffler himself said that Ben Johnson was no longer taking any head coaching interviews because he wanted to stay in Detroit.
Yeah.
So
something happened.
Yes, that is news to me that now he's saying that Ben Johnson never wanted to come to Carolina. But then if you even heard him say, David Tepper can throw the bag at him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like he might didn't want to come because of the money, or he didn't want the situation because whenever we did hire Ben Johnson, we only had the 9th pick and we didn't have a quarterback.
Right.
Right.
Like
and I don't think it was about the money. I think it was probably more in line with
the pick.
Well, what you said just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
so
like for me, with Adam Schefter throwing it out there, it was kind of like catch and grab. You know how you can grab words and then put them into a sentence. It wasn't like a track of saying, hey, this is what happened, and etc. I still think Ben Johnson is possibly the number one. I know we're probably going to go right back around to Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh.
Well, Poppy said reports are saying that he's going to.
I've been looking for that.
Kingsbury.
Poppy, please let me know where you got that from because
I know, because
I'm good on that. I'm good.
I don't want that here in Carolina. I want to hear cadence.
Make me switch teams. Don't do it.
I don't want no clap, man. I want that ready.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Hey, I want to hear that. Oh, hey, might want to bring Cam back. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
No, you good. You good. Like Quan said, man, like I said, I appreciate it, Demetrius. I've been up. I might do something with AJ. You remember AJ that we had last time? Do something with All Pro Sports. I'm not sure. But for me, I'm happy. It's time to actually get it right. I don't know exactly how we can get it right now. Because again, I don't need any injuries. Again, for me, if you ask Doug what you want, I either want Evero. I'll put 4 names out there now because I've been looking more. Number 1 would be Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 would be John Harbaugh. Number 3 would be Eric Bieniemy, and number 4 would be Evero. Mm-hmm. Any one of those men, I would love as a head coach.
Yeah.
But I need Scott Fitter to be out the window too.
He might be.
He can jump. He can climb. He can crawl out. He cannot be over the money and the GM standpoint. And actually, like what Sheena and Pat McAfee said, he needs a football handler that can help him in his ear.
Yeah.
Like I said, if that's Robert Kraft, if that's John Lynch, if that's the Detroit Lions ownership team or GM, he needs somebody in his ear that can be the handler and say, hey, this is a good move. This is a good person. Let them do the football side. You come drink cocktail hour with us, but let your GM and head coach do what they need to do, man.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Austin, you're right. I need that hand stump, foot cadence. I need that, baby. I need that. I need that. Like, it ain't football. It ain't NFL football if you don't do that, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But I appreciate y'all. Tony, you already know. I already know what time it is in your time zone. So I definitely will be checking up with you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, my guy. I said, anything you need, Doug, you got my number. Like, Doug, you want to run it back or anything? Also, if you want me to join you tomorrow for that live press conference, shoot me a text and I'll come over here. We can do live commentary with that as well, man, with that live press conference tomorrow. So anything you need, my guy.
Most def, man. Most
Okay.
def. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
I'm out
yes,
here,
sir.
man.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna
Hey, yo,
tap in. I'm gonna tap in with you boys tomorrow too about that live press conference.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
okay.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, man, if y'all have it, man, please go to What's Up Doug and hit that subscribe button, man. Get them to over 1,000, please, man. Great content over there, man. Tony, I just subscribed to your Two Fans in the Stands podcast, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Already subscribed, man.
Appreciate
I do apologize for that, man. I try to subscribe to great content creators, man. And this our first time actually talking, man. Pretty cool guy, man. Very knowledgeable, man.
Yeah,
so,
man. I'm just another laid back cat, man. I love my team. I'm from Charlotte, you know.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Well, I'm from Wilmington. I was born in Wilmington, but I was raised in Charlotte.
Yeah.
My cousin CJ, who's my partner in crime, he still lives in Charlotte. But right now, man, I'm about 8,000 miles away from you guys, so I'm like 9 hours ahead right now.
8,000. So you in the UK?
No, I'm in the UAE.
You in the UAE, Dubai. Man? Okay. Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man.
So I saw the other week, man. Did y'all really have like bad flooding out there, man?
No, it's not bad flooding. The UAE was never developed to have a drainage system because it doesn't rain here often. You know what I'm saying? Like we got rain last week for the first time in about 3 years. So what they do here in the UAE, and this is something that I found out a couple years ago, they have these drones that they send up in the sky.
Right.
And these drones release some type of magnetic, whatever it does. My wife can tell you because she's a science teacher. She knows this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they can go up and release these drones in certain areas and create rain. And that's how it happens here a lot of times. But I think the rain that came last week, it was only for like a day, and it was like off and on. But because there's no drainage system here, whenever they think that it's going to rain, they'll shut down school. Kids stay home, the teachers stay home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it may not rain, but just the forecast that rain is going to happen. Oh yeah.
You're actually in Dubai.
Yeah, I'm in Dubai.
Nice, man. I'm
not gonna lie. 7 years.
Man, hey, I ain't gonna lie. That's a vacation spot that I want to go to, man. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about the laws over there because I don't want to listen. I ain't want to get locked down.
Well, what you nervous about? I mean, talk to me. Hey, I can. Well, whatever the rumors are, whatever you think it may be, it may not be.
It may not be.
Whatever you want to know, just ask away, man. Just always plug in with me, man. Yeah. I'm here.
Well, man,
I live here. You know what I'm saying?
How about this, man? I'm gonna give you my number in the back channel, man. And Poppy, you grab my number too, man, because we be talking, yo. I'm gonna give you my number right here in the back channel, man. And yeah, that's it right there.
Now, what you have to do, because I don't have a US cell phone number. I have WhatsApp. So if you have WhatsApp, that's how I talk to Doug and everything through WhatsApp. So if you have WhatsApp,
what about I don't have WhatsApp. What about Twitter? You got Twitter? Yeah, are you on it? Are you on it a lot?
Yeah, just the Two Fans in the Stands on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. Because man, I don't like getting all those different apps. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm old school, man.
Yeah, that's why I always try to hit you up during in Twitter.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you can make a group chat and then everybody can just be in there.
On Twitter? Yeah, Twitter space. You're right. Yeah, on the Twitter space. Yeah. But like with to call, speak to someone, that's how I communicate with family and everybody back home, through WhatsApp, because it doesn't cost you anything. Well, when I call Quan or Quan call me, what I'm saying, either call me or send me a message.
Okay. I'm gonna get WhatsApp so we can chat, man. We can talk. I don't like too many apps, but I'll get it.
Either there on Twitter, you can hit me up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all good.
Cool, man. Poppy, man, you've been having a lot of technical difficulties today, man. You good now?
Yeah, the weather over here was kind of cloudy earlier, so I already knew I was going to have some, because it's normally sunny over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add you right now, and then I'll send you a text so you got my information.
Most def. But yeah, man. Hey, listen, breaking news, man. Is Frank Reich gone? Maybe Scott Fitterer gone by tomorrow. Maybe the press conference is at 10:30 tomorrow. So
yeah,
hey,
I think Scott Fitterer will be around to the end of the year.
Yeah, he might be. He might be here to the end of the year. But the new head coach that's going to listen. This is David Tepper's third time around. This is his third time around the mountain with this head coach stuff, and we got to pay a lot of people. I just thought about that. we still paying quarterbacks. We still playing play. We still playing. Are we still paying Matt Rule?
Yeah, we pay him the difference in his college contract.
Come on.
Yeah. We're not on the hook for all that guaranteed money that he had because he took the job in Nebraska. Yeah. But the good thing about it is, the man is a billionaire. Tepper is worth about $13 billion. He got the money. It don't hurt us, against a salary cap or anything like that. So
too fancy.
It is what it is.
Scott now.
Oh yeah, that's my cousin. That's my Ace Boone right there. That's my partner in crime.
That's what's up, man. Hey, you guys are always welcome, man, on the platform, man. Always, man. I appreciate you guys. I really do, man. It was this is probably my longest podcast that I've ever done, and I think this was the best one, man. We had
the longest one I've been on. Been on or done. I think me and CJ did one a couple weeks ago. It was like 2.5 hours. That was like the longest one we ever done.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, man. As content creators, we got too much to talk about. we got too much to talk about right now, man. Even though it's a losing season.
I had just said to my wife earlier while we was eating dinner, I was like, of course, I didn't do a recap of I didn't do a preview of the game, of the Titans game, because I had some stuff that came up. Plus, it was right at Thanksgiving, and I was supposed to do one because I told CJ I was going to do one, and I didn't get a chance to do it. Then I was telling my wife earlier, I was like, it ain't really too much more to say. It is what it is. Like they are not giving us anything positive to talk about, and it's like you can't be positive but for so long. Right. And I'm not going to manufacture anything just to have something to talk about. Right. But when this broke today, shit, this is a game changer right here.
Hey, it's like 4 weeks of content right here, plus more.
Let the speculation begin.
Hey, P, tell Tony he probably gonna get tired of me then, because I'm always gonna be positive.
Oh, hey, listen, man. Every single week, it's Sleeve Bryce, Air Bryce, going to go 3 touchdowns, 350 yards.
Hey, Poppy. But you know what though? Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you as far as remaining optimistic and hopeful, because at the end of the day, regardless of what, this is my team. I'm gonna ride it down with him. You know what I'm saying? I stand 10 toes down with my team. And just like CJ and I, we both wanted CJ Stroud as a quarterback, but we also knew that whoever we took at quarterback was going to be a good quarterback, and we're going to ride with him. Like a lot of people don't like Bryce Young just because they want CJ Stroud. That's fine. You can do that, but the man is our quarterback. He is the quarterback. He is the franchise of our team. So you got to be supportive. Just because he may not have been the guy that you wanted. So what you gonna do? You gonna shit on the team? You gonna shit on the player because that's not who you wanted? Come on, man. I'm in a type of stuff.
I'm in a different situation. Like, we got the guy I wanted, but I was happy with whoever they got. But one of my best friends, he's a super Alabama fan. So I've been following Bryce Young since he went to Alabama. So when we had a chance to get him out, like I was hype. I was like, yeah, let's do it. But then it's like, I know football. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm trying to stay
Right.
super optimistic, but at the end of the day, all of this stuff right here, everything y'all pointed out with the Ben Johnson and everything else, it points to the all season that this was messed up. I think Ben Johnson didn't come because he didn't want to move up to number 1. I think he wanted to stay at 9 and get somebody. All these coaches that denied the job, I'm thinking they didn't want to move up to 1 because they didn't see nobody worth getting a number 1 pick for. And they knew they were going to have to trade away all the talent to move up. So think about if Ben Johnson would have came here, same thing would have happened that happened with Frank, he'd have got fired. Then what he'd have done then?
Right.
So I feel like
That's,
Frank is
no. I was gonna say that's a possibility. I mean, anything is a possibility right
oh
now
yeah.
at this point in time, you know.
Because if Ben Johnson, he's been with Jared Goff, he's gonna want a quarterback like that. So maybe he was leaning more towards CJ. And then, but we all know Tepper was leaning more towards Bryce. So that's why I feel like the next coach that comes in is gonna have to accept that Bryce is gonna be the guy.
They have to,
and that's gonna be hard.
But here's the thing, though: if they are a head coach that has any type of sense and understanding, they can.
If they care about their career, they will not come here.
Well. I'll say this: if they do come here, they have to understand and know, looking at film, that it's not Bryce. All this isn't Bryce's fault. Like if you're a competent head coach or whatever, you can see by film that the scheme that Frank Reich has been running has not been working. And when you go to a scheme, just think about this: the first drive of yesterday's game. What team did that look like? That looked like LA. That looked like the Chiefs. That looked like Philly. That's what it looked like.
It did.
But we have offensive line issues. That's the issue here. And any smart head coach who comes in would see that. It's not Bryce's fault. Bryce being not durable, that's thrown out the window. Bryce not being able to see over the line, that's thrown. How many balls has Bryce had batted down this year?
Not that many.
We can count how many
three or four.
Yeah, we can count how many Baker Mayfield had batted, and I'm not doing
this
because hello, and I'm not saying this or doing this because I'm all of a sudden now this huge Bryce Young lover. Pause, but I'm looking at it from the standpoint of we are stuck with Bryce for the next 2-3 years. We see what Bryce can do when he has time. We have to give him time. That's it.
Right.
Nothing from yesterday's game showed me that Bryce is incapable of leading a team to a win. He showed me that he can't do it. It's the play calling and it's the offensive line. If you don't have time to get these plays down the field, like I always bring this up. When's the last time you seen a freaking flea flicker here in Charlotte? I'll tell you. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, so we see the different innovative thoughts that are trying to come here, but you had a head coach, you had a play standard that was old. It was outdated. And even Frank Reich said himself, the reason why I got in this position is because of my play calling. Yeah, but that was back in what, 2016, 2017? Whenever they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Yeah, when he was in Philly. Yeah.
When he was with Philly. Like, that's not the same way that we're doing this year or now in the NFL. So you got to change with the times. Go ahead, Poppy.
So this is what I would say. Our offense is not boring if it works. The fact that if you look at what the Titans did on that long drive they did, we can do that.
Facts.
They chipped away, Levis threw a ball up, somebody caught it. We can do that. What does that look like? That looked like us last year.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything we were good at from last year. So that's why I'm saying that they came in. Hey, like what Heat said, if I'm playing corner, I'm lined up 5 yards off. I know you're not going to go no further than me. You're not going to go further than 5 yards because all your routes don't go further than 5 yards. So I'm sitting down. So we have that on top of Frank
like everybody's saying, calling these vanilla plays. If we can't hit these vanilla plays right, how are we gonna hit something with creativity?
Hey, real quick before you go, Cha One said, I don't think it's all on Bryce either, but this offense hasn't looked good for any significant amount of time. That's a fact. That's a fact. Go ahead, Poppy.
Well, I'm just saying that the offense that we have is an offense that's supposed to be ball control, time of possession, like what the Titans did. What the Titans did to us was basically stuck a middle finger up at Tepper, like, oh, this is the analytical stuff that you want to do. We're going to show you how you run it. You need a power back in Derrick Henry, and then you need Tajay Spears, then you need a tight end, and you need a good wide receiver. Simple football, the standard of football, right? And you got to have a guy that can throw it down the field. We know without a doubt Bryce can throw it down the field. He chooses not to.
Yeah.
No, I
can't.
I have to disagree with that one, Poppy. Let's just call a spade. Let's just call a spade a spade. That offensive line ain't shit.
Yeah, they trash.
Okay?
I've been calling it Prime. I tell you, I've been calling it all year, man. I've been calling it all year. I know.
Just point blank, no chaser. They ain't shit. So you can't. I hate to hear people talk about Bryce throwing the ball downfield. You can't throw the ball downfield if the defensive tackle, defensive end is in your lap in 1.5 seconds or less. You just can't do it. I don't care if you're Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, how strong your arm is. If the offensive line don't give you the protection to throw the ball, if they don't give you the protection to run the ball, your quarterback, your running game, nothing offensively that you try is going to work. Period. That's just a full stop. It doesn't matter what you want to do schematically. It doesn't care if you run the inside zone, dual zone, wide zone, triangle read. It does not matter. If the offensive line is not giving you time to implement each play, no matter what the scheme is, it will not happen.
Can I ask you this?
Nope. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Hey, so I 100% get what you're saying. And what I'm saying is, like last year and what we saw with the Titans, they were running the ball and then they play action. We were doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Bryce had, when he did a play action, he had a clean pocket, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we seen Bryce.
Times, yeah.
We seen Bryce with a clean pocket, but off the play action of us establishing something. What the problem that bothers me with this whole season is, why didn't we do this from the beginning?
Do more of it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Why didn't we come out and just pound the ball? We have a rookie. Anybody that plays football or any sport, when you got a rookie, it don't matter how good they are. Like, there's still some type of learning curve. Some people learn faster than others.
To take the pressure off of them, you want to run the ball.
Yes. So if we would have been running the ball and we would have been competitive and we were still 1-10, Frank never would have got fired. We would have waited until the offseason, because when the next coach come in, he's going to want to get his guy. No coach that anybody has said that's going to come in here fits the mold of that person. Like, Bryce does not fit the mold of a Jim Harbaugh quarterback.
Yeah.
Harbaugh like more athletic quarterbacks that can really get out the pocket and extend plays and get yards down the field.
But Jim Harbaugh also loves to do what we did last year, is smash mouth, 12 personnel, run the ball down your throat type of scheme too. Because he loved one running back, two tight ends. He also loved 21 personnel when you got two running backs, a running back, a fullback, and a tight end. He loves to run the ball. You watch him when he was in San Francisco. You see what he has done offensively at Michigan, and even before he came to San Francisco, what he did out in Stanford. You know, same thing, same concepts.
Yeah, I like I said, I think the issue here in Carolina, man, that came into this year started with front office. And then we head over to Scott Fitterer. If y'all remember, he said every position group upgraded except for one.
That's right, Cha-cha-cha.
I wonder what that one was. I wonder what that one. Now, the Cha-cha-cha's point here he says that the play action only works when they respect your ground game. That's not all the way true. That's not all the way true. Because you got to think about this. Our run game has not been respected at all this whole year. I can take you back to the Miami game where we ran that play action pass over to the first 2 drives of the Miami game. Pass to Tommy Tripper where he hopped over the guy. And then we started running the ball. You know, our run game wasn't nothing. But the one thing that it does, it makes the linebackers freeze for a second. Like they want to stack the box and blitz us. Miami did those first 2 drives, but they couldn't. Bryce pulled the ball back. You got a pre-snap crosser going this way, pre-snap crosser going that way. You got a tight end that's blocking and releasing. Like you don't know whether you should commit to that 0 blitz or whatever blitz they was doing, or if we should go back in coverage. So I think, and you're right about that to a certain extent, but Carolina ain't have no run game, and we saw how effective that could be. Those were the glimpses and the glimmers that we should have pivoted to after understanding that offensive line is not good when Bryce is up on the shotgun. They can't hold. You got to have motion. You got to create dirty eyes. And I've been saying this since Houston game that we need to start doing these. Yeah.
But what's even crazy though? What's even crazy that we talk about all this, that the pressures and the schemes and stuff like that. But when you even go down to just the basics, we can't even stop a 4-man rush.
We can't. You're right.
We can't even stop a 4-man rush.
You're right.
So if we constantly getting beat by 4 men, offensive line got 5 people every single play. No matter how you try to splice it or cut it, you got 5 offensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
That means somebody getting double teams or supposed to be getting double teamed. Right. When you are constantly getting to the quarterback with 4 men and you can drop 7 in coverage, first of all, where you going with the ball? And number 2, what time do you have to get to the ball when the 4 down lineman is getting to the quarterback?
Right.
So you're in a lose-lose situation from the beginning. From the moment the ball is snapped, you're in a lose-lose situation.
You're right. You're right. I wonder if I could see if I can play this real quick. This is the drive from yesterday. Let's see if I can move our avatars out the way so y'all can see this.
Please don't show that first one with Icky.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Is it gonna let me do it? Okay, here we go. No. I'm sorry. This is Amir Smith Marset stuff. Never mind. My bad. I'm gonna find that one later, man, and pull it back up because I think that shows where Poppy at. Let's see if I can get everybody back up here at the same time. Avatars. Yeah, but if you look back at that first drive that Carolina had yesterday against the Tennessee Titans, we was rolling. It was a blown assignment on the offensive line with a pulling guard that allowed a free rusher just to run inside there and sack Miles Sanders. If it's ever a glaring point or the statement that the offensive line is trash, it's that play right there. That play right there is the reason why the Carolina Panthers are losing. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. It's
I said who was in the starting line. So we had Icky, then we had what?
We had Icky, we had
Champ Zavala,
Loof, Loft,
Bill Toth.
Yeah. And then we had Taylor Moten. Yeah, we had 9.
Yeah,
like,
that was
so
our starting
far this
5.
season. Yeah, so far this season we had 9 different guard combinations.
Yeah,
like that's not success. So like when they fired Frank, I was just like, not only did you mess up the rest of this year, anybody that was thinking about possibly trying to come here, they're coming here for the bag. They ain't coming here to win. So it's going to be more of the same. So any free agent person we sign, if they're on the later end of their career, they're just coming here to get paid. They already know we're not in a position to win until we get the O-line fixed.
Facts. Yeah. Zach, you bring up a good point. What makes us worse is we get beat by a 3-man rush. That's a fact. A 3-man rush is beating us.
Yeah. So that, like, hey, Hey man, so like I said, even Frank Wright being fired, he's gone. Panther Nation, we got our wish. That there still shouldn't be any expectation that anything is going to be different going forward for the rest of this year, because the offensive line is the offensive line, and they're banged up. You know what I mean? Like our offensive line is banged the hell up. So ain't no magic pill, no magic play calling or scheme that can mask or hide that and make anything different than what we've already seen the first 11 games of the season. That's just my honest
keep going. I'll be right
opinion.
back. Keep going.
Yeah, that's just my honest opinion. Maybe something shakes. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a genie jump out the bottle and do something miraculously. But
I think
I just don't see it.
I think the goal for the rest of the season is not to give Chicago the number one pick, because if we give them the number one pick and Chicago doesn't win out, they're gonna have 1 and 2. We just help them build a dynasty if they get the right player.
We've already given them number one pick.
Not if we can win some games.
But we're not gonna be honest. The reality, I'm hopeful, Poppy. I'm hopeful. let me just be clear with that. I'm hopeful that we will win games. The reality, what reality has shown me the first 11 games of the season is that we may win one more game. We may be able to steal one more game this season. If you get the locker room come back together, they band together, they get fired up now because Frank Wright is gone, and they want to go out and prove that this was the right move. You might be able to steal something. I don't know, but the reality of the situation is we are who we are, and there's nothing about that that's really going to change significantly to make people think that all of a sudden we're going to start winning. We won't know that until we get a new head coach at the end of the season and we move forward at that point.
Okay. So
We're too far in. We're too far into this season to think otherwise. We're too far into the season and we are too injured.
So can I ask you this? If Tepper wins out, should we keep him?
If Chris Tabor,
yeah, if he wins out, should we keep him? Because this is the second time. This is the second time he's an interim coach. He got selected.
Yeah, he was an interim coach in Chicago.
Yeah, so and then you remember Steve Wilkes was an interim coach, and everybody was saying hire him. So if we go on a win streak, do you feel like the right move will be to hire Tepper as the head coach, or should we pull another Steve Wilkes and let him go?
So the key word in your question was if. So I'm gonna answer it based off of that.
Because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Right. So okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For conversation purposes, if Carolina was to win out, yes, I think you have to look at Chris Tabor as being the head coach.
Okay, so with you saying that, if the offense, if we lose out like how everybody thinks, should the whole coaching staff be fired because we set the example the last 2 years that if a coach is losing, they're gone. So at the beginning of next year, if we lose out, should we just get a whole completely new coaching staff?
Well, that's going to be dependent on the coach that you bring in. That is going to be left up to whoever the new head coach is for the Panthers.
What would you do if you was the owner?
If I was David Tepper, if I was David Tepper, I wouldn't have my hands into the team like David Tepper does. I don't believe in owners being that hands on because it never works out well. It didn't work. It's not working out well for Jerry Jones. It didn't work out well for Dan Snyder. Okay. Who else?
It's starting to work out. It's starting to work out right now for Jerry Jones.
Yeah, but you saw what Jerry Jones did to build what they got right now. They built an offensive line over the years.
Yeah, but honestly, not to talk about Dallas too much, but Dallas 3 or 4 years ago had a better offensive line than what they have right now.
Yeah, they still
To
got the
be
key
honest,
pieces though. They got key pieces. They kept out of that offensive line. Whoever didn't retire and whoever didn't leave is still there. Like they got the core.
but they also been dealing with a lot of injuries to those key players over the past 2 or 3 years too. Let's not forget that they haven't been consistently available year in and year out. Those guys are getting older. Zach Martin's getting older. Tyron Smith is getting older. We definitely know he can't stay healthy. You
Oh,
know,
you talking about
you just gave
78
all that money,
Tyron Smith?
huh?
You said Tyron Smith?
Yeah, Tyron Smith, the left tackle.
I know one of them is young.
Hey guys, breaking news. This ain't gonna do with us, but the Raiders released cornerback Marcus Peters.
Yeah, because he was up there. You saw what he was doing.
What happened?
What happened? What did he do?
No, they were showing. They were saying on film he wasn't giving effort on certain plays. So, if you're not giving effort trying to chase something down, or if you're not doing anything, why are you on the field?
Hey, I can respect that. Antonio Pierce is not playing no games.
Yep, but you know,
He's not playing no game.
It's setting the example. It's setting the example for the organization that he's not playing no games, but at the same time, it's setting the example for a player to play like shit so he can go to a different team.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why I was just looking like what I didn't get to see the game and look at all the film, but I wonder like if this has been something that's been going on for the couple, like when McDaniels got fired, was he trying to leave and they was like no, they forced him. Like I feel like it could be more.
Well,
to it.
let's just put Marcus Peters in perspective. Marcus Peters has been a head case ever since he's came into the league. He was a head case with the Rams. He was a head case with the Ravens, and now, quite frankly, he's being a head case with the Raiders. Nobody wants to deal with that at all. Not nobody that's trying to make it in this league, trying to be a head coach. You don't want a cancer to linger in your locker room, no matter who they are, how good they are. If you are a cancer, you have to remove it.
Ain't no questions asked.
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. No, I get it. Let's see what Zach. What he said. Assistant coach for the GM, Adam Peters. Hopefully, we get him. Yeah, you know, I've been hearing a lot about that, man. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I like what's the guy's name? The OC from the Eagles. What's his name? Is it? It's not Brian Johnson, is it?
Brian Johnson. OC. Yeah, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
But I don't know. I don't think he'll go nowhere. You know, he's been with Jalen Hurts since high school.
So he may be stuck because of the love and the friendship.
That is like a match made in heaven, as they say it, because he's been with Jalen Hurts for so long. And so when the offensive coordinator that was there last year got the head coaching job, when Steichen got the head coaching job in Indianapolis, that's what they were hoping was going to happen, that they was going to promote Brian Johnson to the offense coordinator position and keep him with Jalen Hurts. Like they have a relationship going back to when Jalen Hurts was playing in high school, and Jalen Hurts' father was the head coach.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, fellas, we've been on this thing for 3 hours and 37 minutes.
I know, man.
I am going to come back later on because it's just too much to talk about. But I got to get my schoolwork done. Unless I would have been on here for like 9 hours, like I used to be when we was on lockdown for Clubhouse. I used to be on Clubhouse for like 9-10 hours out the day. But I'm off today. What'd you say?
It's 10:20 where I'm at. I'm old and I need to drink my nighttime tea.
Hey, health number one, baby.
What'd you say, Poppy?
I said health number one. He said drinking that nighttime tea. He's making sure
everything.
Oh yeah.
He going to sleep and he gonna wake up in the morning and be all right.
Hey man, I just downloaded WhatsApp. Tony, go ahead and hit me with the number or however I need to figure out how to get in contact with you On
yeah, I'm about to hit you right now.
Okay, hit me up on Twitter or whatever, and or even Panther Prime Podcast, or if you want to see me all the details. It's Panthers Prime Podcast at gmail.com. You can email it to me, and I'll go ahead and get everything set up. But yeah, man, yeah, this is a good conversation, man.
I just hit you with my WhatsApp number. You have to put it in there just how you see it.
You send it to the private chat.
Yeah, in the private chat. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna have to copy this and put it on my my notepad for right now. Then I'll come and do it.
Yeah, and so when you put your number into WhatsApp, you have to put +1.
+1.
That's the US country code +1.
But it's gonna give me a whole different number, right? Like it's not gonna be my actual.
No,
it's gonna be my actual number.
It's gonna be your phone number. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why y'all numbers got 1,000? Why y'all numbers got 1,000 numbers in it?
the 971 is the country code.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to put that 1 right there. Take that +1 out. It's +971.
Okay, I was about to say, man, that thing. I mean, it's still a little. I was about to say it's still a long pause, but
yeah. The pause? Like, what is up with that? I hear people say that all the time. Like,
well, it's okay. So it's when you say something that's a little bit,
go ahead.
When you say something that's a little bit, I don't want to say the word on YouTube because I don't want to get banned, but it's when you say something that's a little bit, tambourine.
Oh,
yeah. It can be taken in a.
Oh, I get what you're saying, but what I want to ask though is, if you're not thinking that way and I'm not thinking that way, why are you saying pause? You're validating what somebody else is thinking.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a city thing because when I lived in Miami and when I got cousins from New York, when you say something like that, it's like, hey, yo, like, you all right? Like, it's just I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just how it is, man. I don't know.
Listen, Poppy. Let me give you an example. So it's like we talking about the offensive line, and I say, they got a lot of meat up front.
Pause.
Yeah. See, to me, when you say that, I'm thinking like, man, they probably got some heavy linemen, like they got some boys up there. So like, I see what you're saying, but yeah, I ain't jumping on that pause thing. So if I say something,
Poppy, where you from? Poppy, where you from?
I'm from North Carolina, but I stay in Arizona. But I don't keep up with like the current slang and stuff. So I was just like, hearing people say pause. I was like, what?
Let me just go ahead. Poppy, white or you black?
I'm black, man.
Are you black?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say because it's a cultural thing, especially if you're from up north, you have to, saying
from
pause.
Up north.
Saying pause. That's just part of the vocabulary.
Yeah,
there you go. Cha just said it. It takes out the suspicion.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So when I'm talking and somebody says, "Hey, yo, pause," they're letting me know that they're thinking something else while I'm thinking regular.
Not that they're thinking it. That even though you're not thinking it, the audience, somebody can be thinking or taking what you're saying wrong.
So we're validating what somebody is thinking in their mind of what
no. Just like Cha said, it takes out the suspicion. That's what the pause is. That's just like stopping it from being taken right. Taking the left when it should stay right. You know what I'm saying?
But if we're all around each other for a long period of time and we know what all of us like, does the pause stop or does it keep going? Because at that point, that means somebody.
Pause keep going, Poppy. hey, Poppy. Me and my homeboy John. He's from New York. Like he's from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
So he said something. He's like, yo, man, I'm getting tired of this, man. This dude keeps sticking up. I mean, he said something. He keep sticking his nose, man, in this lane. And I was like, yo, I said, what you mean by that? He's like, he keep putting his nose in his lane, man. I said, all right. I said, well, why don't you just go around him? He said, nah, man, his backside is too far in. I said, hey, yo.
Oh, I get what y'all.
I said, hey, yo.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know,
it's
man. I might
just
be.
like I know my homeboy ain't like that,
Yeah,
but it's just
it's basically an inside joke type thing. All right.
But
yeah. I mean,
it's like a comedic reference. You know
Okay.
what I'm
Yeah. Okay.
saying?
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
I
like
got
it's like putting your homeboy or whoever on notice. Like, yo, you just said some slick shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You might not have caught it, but we caught it. You feel me?
yeah, man. You got to change your vocabulary. You know what I mean? You got to
Oh
change what
well,
you
because
say.
like with me, man, I'm a man. I like to travel around, so like I don't.
Oh
I
God.
accept where I'm at. I don't bring nothing with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I
like
got you. I feel you.
whatever
Ah.
slang I was using in North Carolina when I moved to, Ohio or Georgia, Hawaii, and all that stuff. I didn't take none of it with me. I embrace the local, their thing. So you're basically saying if I go up north, I'm gonna end up saying pause a lot.
No,
Yeah.
you might not end up saying it, but you're gonna hear it.
Yeah, you're gonna hear it a lot, and then it's gonna be like, all right, because it's so thick up here. Pause. With that type of movement, like I got to be mindful about what I say, unless I may be on that pause tip or whatever.
Because
Pause.
listen, Poppy, you go somewhere and you're not really up on it. You can end
Pause.
up being the butt of the show. Pause.
Oh, hey, see, well, the thing that, well, for me, is just like, whenever somebody's saying something, I don't even be thinking about nothing except for what they saying in the topic. But I can see the joke and
Yeah,
all that
that's
stuff
all
like
it
that.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see all
That's
that.
all
I
it
ain't trying to
is.
be no downer or nothing. I just wanted to get a better understanding because I
Yo,
was like, I hear that all the
if
time.
you want to watch, I'm gonna send you a video of these podcasts. You probably seen it before. Mason and Cam, man. It is
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is. Podcast. Yo, listen. Yo,
Yeah.
yo. So Cam, I'll tell you what. So Cam was, he needed some water. So the person on the show went to go give him a bottle of water. He said, "Yo, just throw it. I'll catch it." Mason's like, "Hey, yo, pause." And he was like, "Yeah, that was crazy." He's like, "Yeah, you said throw it, I'll catch it. Now you drinking it." And it was so crazy how the whole set went full.
Yeah.
But it's like a no
Yeah.
understanding. Like, I'm gonna send it to you. You gonna laugh at it,
Yeah.
But it's just it's just
I ain't
funny,
gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna adopt that part of my vocabulary because my brain don't work like that. I ain't thinking anything if you tell me you eat a hot dog whole, I'll be like, all right, bro, I ain't thinking no extra. Like, all right.
A hole? Nah, that's crazy.
No, I'm using that as an example. Like you would say pause to that, right? Like you just did.
Yo.
You just said
Yo.
pause. No. I was saying that so you would say pause. So now I
Yeah.
understand. So
Yeah, you eat a hot dog whole. Hey, yeah, we got
so I said it. Y'all said pause. I got a greater understanding now. But to me, if somebody said that, I would just be like, all right, cool. Like, dude, you know what? Don't choke on it. Keep it pushing.
Yo, don't choke on it. That's wild. Yo. All right, y'all. Hey, this is your host to be. Yo, choke on it. Hey, yo.
Oh God, I'm crying real tears.
Yeah, man.
Oh God.
Hey.
This is crazy.
Okay, this is funny.
Poppy, you all right with me, man?
Yeah, facts.
Hey man, I only could be me, man. I only could be me. I can't be nobody else.
No doubt.
Well, hey, man, this is your host, Dimitri, with the PPP, man. Hey, y'all, real quick, man. I know, Poppy, you don't have a channel, but you should have a channel. You need to get you a channel.
Okay, since you said that,
yes,
I was going the proper. I was doing this the proper way.
Okay.
I don't have. It's Carolina Panthers stuff, but me and Heat, we go live after the game. This last game we went live, and then we did a series breakdown of everything of what we saw and what we didn't.
Shout
what
it
we
out.
liked and what we didn't like. Yes, at Carolina First. So if you put in the search bar at Carolina First, you'll see the logo. But we're not like y'all, like everybody else. Like we don't care about the thumbnail, none of that. We just want to go up there and just talk. That's it.
Facts. I like it. Straight to the point.
Yeah, as soon as we hop on, like that's it. Like boom, the thumbnail gonna look like you're gonna see Heat on there. You're gonna see my logo, and that's it.
So is it the @ sign?
Yeah, I put it in the.
Let's see. Yeah, man, cool. Hey, it's all about growing everybody's platform, man.
Like
okay,
on the
I got it.
Yeah.
Is this it right here?
Yep.
Cool. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me make sure. Here we go.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Man.
I got
go and subscribe to the podcast, man. Hook them boys up, man. Hey, they come on the podcast. I didn't even know you had one, man. So I'm gonna be on y'all joint, man.
Because you know how like you come in. We weren't trying to do any of this. We were gonna wait until we had our own thing going, and then be like, whenever you like, hey, you got a podcast? Like, yeah, we got this. But yeah, we still working it. How you see it, that's how it's gonna be. We're gonna come in.
And you know what, man? I respect that because I didn't do that on Big Cat's joint. I didn't do that on Unc's joint. I just started posting stuff, and then Unc was like, man, I see what you're doing. I never, when I went on his platform, I ain't never talk about PPP until he said, hey, man, shout your channel out, man. I feel like that's the most respectful thing to do, man. Listen, I respect you for that, Poppy, for real. Yeah, man.
Hey, you remember earlier you was telling everybody to shout their stuff out. Man, we ain't say nothing because we were just like, nah, like we like coming over here. We trying to do our little thing.
And Heat when I see him, I'm gonna give him a rib check for that. Pause. Yeah. I'm
hey man, it's love, man. We just trying to have fun with it. That's it.
Facts. Well, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead and shout your channel out. Then Poppy, go ahead, shout your channel out, man.
Oh yeah, man. It's 2 Fans in the Stands. That's the number 2 Fans in the Stands. My cousin CJ and I, we started this podcast channel basically in the middle of last year. We started doing actually live videos right after the season last year. So we continuously trying to grow it. We're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. I think right now we're like something like 885, 886. We try to go live every Saturday, sometime between noon and 2 o'clock, depending on the time. We try to drop at least 2 or 3 videos a week. So yeah, anytime we are live, man, y'all tap in. Let us know. We talk ball, Carolina Panthers or whoever, and just turn on just subscribe button. I'm sorry, the post notification bell, and so you can be alerted to whenever we go live or drop new content.
Absolutely, man. I just met Tony, man. And great guy, man. Man, really humble, man. Really humble. Poppy, go ahead, boss, man.
Well, me and he come on here. We got a lot of love for everybody. We started up our channel, the Carolina First Not on the Stat Sheet podcast, where we're gonna go live on Wednesdays, talk about the game, the couple day reaction, because after you get the loss, that first initial reaction you have is always bad. So on Wednesdays we come back. We done cooled off. We'll talk about what we really like during the game, and then we'll go into our next opponent. And then Sundays after the game, we break down series by series what we like, who shined, who we thought improved. Just keeping conversation. We just want to keep all of this just Panther stuff. So yeah, that's basically it for the channel. We ain't got nothing else, and it's gonna be dry. All them thumbnails gonna look the same, so ain't nothing changing.
I feel you on that, man. Hey, man, two great guys, man, that I trust, man, and really trust their word.
It's rough.
It is rough, man. It's real rough, man. Just being a Panther fan in itself, man, is pretty hard, man. But yeah, we gonna hang in there. But guys, I'm about to get the schoolwork done. So it was great, man. Tony, I'll probably see you tomorrow, man. I know you're probably about to hit the bed. Poppy, you're welcome to come back. Later on, I'm gonna do another live later on today, man.
Oh yeah, I got you.
We got a lot to talk about, man. But hey, guys, this is your host Demetrius from the PPP Panthers Prime Podcast, man. Hey, yeah, we're gonna come back. We got a lot to talk about, guys. Frank Reich has now been fired as the head coach. We're gonna look at some options. Who may be our next head coach? Where does this offense goes from here? Does Thomas Brown's offense look different now that Frank Reich is no longer holding him back, quote unquote? We'll talk about it. But hey, you guys be good. It's your host Demetrius with the PPP Panthers Prime Podcast. You know what time it is. Let's go.